like hot grease.
I don't want to cook with hot glass, but yes,
they almost are. 10 in a row.
Honestly, 10 in a row. Cal Raleigh 2 home runs last night, which broke Mickey Mantle's record for switch hitting home runs. It tied Ken Griffey's Mariners record. So no, it's incredible what he is doing and what that team's doing. Oh yeah,
you enter into anything with Mickey Mantle.
Oh, man.
And then in Seattle Mariner history with Ken Griffey, that's a special league.
That's incredible. And I mean, I think back to when the Mariners gave him this contract, and there were still a lot of questions about Cal Raleigh. Obviously, he hadn't had this season when they went and gave him that contract extension. I remember listening, it might have been one of the Seattle stations, and they had Jeff Passan on. And they were like, should we really be paying this catcher this type of money? He's been good. He's been okay. And Jeff Passan at that time was like, no, he's going to be amazing. He's going to be phenomenal. This guy is the next big thing. And sure enough, here in the big 2025, he has been incredible. And, I mean, who would have thought just a couple years ago that we'd be talking about Cal Raleigh being the biggest figure for the Seattle Mariners? Because a couple years, I mean, Julio Rodriguez was doing his thing and still is a good player, but they had a couple of other guys that it felt like, that pitching staff felt like that was going to be what led them. But Cal Raleigh, big dumper, what he is doing for this Mariners team right now is incredible. And like you said, getting to double-digit win streak, 10 in a row last night against Kansas City, and did it in, I mean, absolute commanding fashion. It's been fun to watch him.
If he had a personalized license plate, what would it be?
How many letters is a license plate?
I don't know. I don't know what the limit is. I've never had one. I think they're super vain.
I think I don't know how long it is. I would go BGDUMP, so big dump. That's how I would do it.
I'd just go dump.
Dump or dumper? Like, I mean, I think both of those would be really good. But he's got to have something. Like, I don't know what he drives or if he has, but he's got to have something. Dumper, dump. I mean, he's got to dive all into it.
And don't look now, but the Mariners can track down Detroit for the 2 seed.
Yeah, they can. And, I mean, again, it's all due to this
that's
crazy
no wild card hosting or anything. That's straight to LDS.
That's right. So, I mean, they're definitely still playing for something. I think you mentioned this yesterday or the day before about how, around this time, I think a lot of people get caught up in wild card race and who's gonna make those spots and who's gonna be in there, and can this team that's right outside catch up and get in? Can this team fend those teams off? But really, I mean, it's everybody that are still playing for things, because these seedings, the home field advantage, all of that is still very much in play. And so, yeah,
Milwaukee's pretty set though.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee is really
as
really
the NL
right
1.
Yeah,
and in control for overall 1 seed, which would host 1, 2, 6, and 7 in the World Series.
Yeah, and I mean, I say that, but I mean, don't let the Phillies stay hot. And Brewers kind of
Phillies won last night after popping bottles. And Mark DeRosa this morning on MLB Network, he said it right. He said, back in the day, you didn't come in before sunup after Champagne broke loose.
No, that was
he said no starter could even think about going the next day.
Absolutely
but now you do, because of the jockeying for seeding. You have to get back out there, and the Phillies did it last night after a great start by Ohtani.
Yeah, Ohtani was phenomenal. I mean, 5 no-hit innings, and they, kind of what we were talking about yesterday with, him as he continues to work back as a pitcher. They pull him after 5 to kind of save that arm and not risk any injuries. And,
right. So why even start him?
It's we both said yesterday. At this point I probably wouldn't. So I don't really know. I mean,
do you think they're thinking about bullpen maybe for him?
It certainly could be, and I don't think that'd be a bad idea
in October.
For him. It could be. I would not put it past them, because
just come in pumping gas.
Sure. I mean, look, this is a guy last night gave you 5 no-hit innings.
I've gone gas, glass, and grease already today.
I love it. All the G words in there, Brett.
And dumb.
Dumb. Getting a little risky there, but I mean, he's shown that he can give you 5 innings of no-hit ball. He's shown you he can go out there and give you an inning or 2 of really good stuff, and then also use that bat and hit home runs in the same game. So, if that's what you think, if you don't want to use him as a full-on starter, I'd definitely think about maybe having him jog out to the bullpen and come in for an inning or two.
Yeah, but how does he get ready for that? Well, if he's DH, he could. Yeah,
Sure.
If he's DH, he could. But if he's position player, he can't. He can't go to the bullpen.
No, yeah, we're gonna sub him out, and then we're gonna send him to the bull. That would be a I don't know.
Week and a half left. Plenty of intrigue.
It's crazy. When you talk about injury,
Mets needed it badly last
night.
night.
They really did, and they're ones that they're gonna have to fend it off. Last night got it done, and I think a home run in all 3 of the first innings for the Mets last night. So I mean, they were really rolling. But you look at the Diamondbacks, a team that's right there behind them, that were sellers at the deadline, but playing really, really well. And that's a team that we're gonna have to keep an eye on to see if they can maybe come into that last wild card spot. But really intriguing stuff. And we talked about that Phillies and Dodgers game. It was awesome. I mean, it was late, but I'll be honest, I was tired. I almost shut it off in the 5th inning. And then out of nowhere, here comes the Phillies with 6 runs. And I was like, okay, now we have a game. And then I was like, all right, well, we're getting late. This game's over. I thought about going to bed again. And then here come the Dodgers. They respond. They go up in the 8th, or they tie it in the 8th inning. And then we had a 3-run shot with 2 outs in the 9th inning. So, I mean, an insane baseball game last night and against 2 teams. I mean, certainly I think the Phillies can make a lot of noise in the postseason. I think the Dodgers certainly have talent. I think pitching certainly has some question marks. But, I mean, both those teams could make some noise in the postseason.
I certainly do. Do you feel buzz building for the weekend for Tigers and Razorbacks?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think seeing on Monday, I've mentioned this a couple times, the athletic department putting out the tweet, only 5,000 tickets left for the game, and then kind of seeing the reaction to that from other people of, only 5,000, I got to get my ticket, and kind of people kind of waiting. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like as it builds, as we get closer, I'm starting to see a lot of people I know, people I don't know, social media, just out and about, even some national people talking about this game and pointing out, hey, don't forget about Memphis and Arkansas this week. And so, yeah, I definitely feel it building.
I do too. Let's say, I don't think anybody really knows the number in the construction phase of just how many you can get in there. But let's use this number because I think the Liberty Bowl said there were 37,000 there for their game, which
right.
I didn't even know that was possible. I mean, it's not going to be much more than that when it's completely finished.
Right.
Let's use the number 36,000.
Okay.
Just for example. What do you think the proportion should be, Razorbacks to Tigers?
That's a tough question.
In thousands or in percentages or in whatever?
I mean, I think it should probably be 60-40.
I do too. That's exactly because Arkansas fans in any sport are very enterprising.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a shot at anybody
that
they find ways to get their hands on tickets. They are great fans.
Yeah.
And a lot of their fans are buying tickets through the University of Memphis.
Sure. And I mean, you talk about that proximity and a lot of Razorback fans here in the city that are
record number.
I mean, yeah.
Brian, years ago when Arkansas waived out-of-state tuition for Shelby County attendees to the university, enrollees to the University of Arkansas, that really turned the number. There's always been people go to Arkansas from Memphis. A bunch of friends. I was in school with a bunch of great people, guys and gals from Memphis. But there's a huge number now. It's never been this many.
Yeah, no.
You can just drive down the road and see the Shelby County, Tennessee tag with the Razorback on it.
I believe it. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was graduating high school, and I mean, just a ton of people just at Houston going to Arkansas. Melinda, my girlfriend, her brother, he graduated from Arkansas. I know he lives in Nashville now, but he came in town this week. He's got a big group that are going to the game that are all Arkansas grads going to the game on Saturday. So both sides, I think, very excited about this game on Saturday.
That's good. And, in 2 weeks in a row for Arkansas really to kind of come through this area and, ever so close last weekend. And I think even in the heartbreak of that narrow loss, that except for a play being made, they were going to go ahead. I don't know what was going to happen after they went ahead, but they were getting ready to go ahead.
Yeah, I mean they were driving, they were looking good, and I mean so close to finding the end zone, and then Ole Miss comes up with a great stop, a great play to force that turnover and get the ball back. But I think you're exactly right. I think it was very probable, very likely that Arkansas would have found a way into the end zone. And then, who knows? After that, Ole Miss had time. They could have responded. They might not have been able to respond. But, yeah, that play was the biggest play of the game by far.
I had Arkansas 2-1 to this point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they would be this good,
yeah,
Brian.
I didn't either. I mean,
and I think my entire bit about this is I think they feel better about themselves than they probably thought than a week ago.
Yeah, and I think you got to, because all the talk in the offseason, none of it was good, right? It was, okay, another year Sam Pittman.
The number talk.
Sure,
I mean, what's the number to save him?
And just the thought of,
and after Omaha, that was a depressant that really
was.
That really hurt summertime hype and buildup.
Yeah, and you talked about that going into the postseason play in college baseball. Of let's see how far Arkansas goes, because the second that Arkansas gets eliminated from baseball, all the attention shifts to football, and it's going to be a long off season if they're eliminated early. And so by the time they did get eliminated, yeah, you're switching gears. You're thinking about football, and then the first 2 weeks, no disrespect to either of the teams they played, but those aren't SEC teams. Those aren't the high caliber opponents. They looked good against that. But I think even after those 2 games, people looked at that and said, okay, Arkansas looked good, but look at who they're playing. Then last week against Ole Miss, it was, okay, this is a very good opponent. This is an SEC game. Let's see what they look like. That offense looked awesome against Ole Miss. I think now a lot of people going, okay, certainly this offense is for real. And they're, Brett, they're a fun team to watch. I've enjoyed 3 games, watched all of the Ole Miss game, watched a good amount of the Arkansas State game, just kind of peeked into the first game of the season against Alabama A&M. But they're a fun team to watch, and especially that offense and Taylon Green. He's a really fun player to watch.
And for the Razorbacks, if they were to beat Memphis and then upset Notre Dame, have the open date and go to Knoxville, we saw the Tennessee defense give up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, that number for Gunnar Stockton in blitz, 9 out of 10, just picked it apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
if you think his first step's lethal, check out Taylon Green's.
That's a good point. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing with Taylon Green. I mean, he can hurt you in so many different ways. I mean, that arm and those legs, I mean, it is really impressive to watch. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that there should be a lot of excitement from Arkansas fans, and I think should be excitement for this game, and certainly will be a lot of excitement for Notre Dame, where they're looking to really, I mean, slam the door on Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame loses against Arkansas well, I think so. Yeah, we're gonna ask David Cohn that later, because I'm curious his thoughts on Notre Dame, because I've been seeing a lot of different sides to this Notre Dame coin.
I do think Notre Dame's good.
I think they're really good, Brett.
And they could, maybe should be 2-0, but just like the conversation last week about South Florida,
sure,
we're into the thick of it now. We're not in the coulda, shoulda, happy July talk.
We're playing wins and losses
at the in the ballroom of the College Football Hall of Fame. Now, this is real feel now.
This is the results speak for themselves, and unfortunately for Notre Dame, they're 0-2.
Brian, I'm sorry. Yesterday when I asked Matt Infield, and he gave us a very direct, candid, his view of things. That's what we want. We don't tell anybody to say anything. We want their opinions. I do respectfully disagree with him. I didn't get your take on. Do you like this 3-0 version of the Tigers?
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's been a little. Brian, it's the first time I went through summertime W's and L's on the Tigers. I had a split of those 2 games of Georgia State and Troy.
Yeah.
And then I moved, and I thought, no, they're not going to lose to Georgia State down there.
Sure.
But then I was worried about Troy, but then I moved away from that, too, when I talked to a little more and found out a little more about the team and realized I think something special at quarterback.
Yeah, no, I think Brendan Lewis has been phenomenal to start the season. I think the thing about how you have to look at this team is, and it's a lot of teams nowadays, but it's a little different because I think you watch the games and it's not, a full game of super crisp football. This team has flaws, it has mistakes, but you also got to realize this is the first 3 games of the season of a team that largely replaced everybody on the field. pretty much every position on both
and
sides
it's why
of
it was
the
a
ball.
hard summertime pick.
Exactly. And so I think when you see some of these mistakes, some of these things that maybe don't look as great with this team, I think you also got to remember it's early in the season and all of these guys still trying to kind of learn each other, and injuries on top of that as well to a couple positions. I think it's been really good. I definitely think there are things to improve on, but so far I think it's been a really good 3-0.
So this was my summertime evolution with the Tigers. First time through, and privately to Jonah Dillon at a Showboats game, he said, "What about it?" I said, I went through it 7-5. He said, "Nah," he said, "I think they're going to be better than that." And he told me some of the personnel.
Yeah.
So I see him at the golf tournament, and he said, "What do you think now?" I said, 9-3 or 10-2, but I haven't decided what I'm going to let go yet. And he said, "Interesting." He said, "That's a lot better than back in June." And then I went 10-2.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's that doesn't surprise me at all. Again, when you replace that much, it is a big question mark, and I mean, Brett, we're not even 30 minutes in on a Wednesday afternoon. We're getting a Showboats reference. I mean, oh man, it's gonna be
long live the boats.
Yeah, long live. I was rocking a Showboat shirt last night at the gym. I was like, oh man, this is now vintage, I guess you could say. But
the old logo, the Ohio State look in the 80s was the vintage.
That's right. That's 10 times better than this iteration.
And again, don't think it would have made any difference, but it still would have been better if it had had that.
It would have. I agree on that. That would have made
the times got them. The times and the stadium construction, and Bryant, you got to remember, in the 80s we had professional teams, but we had never been major league. We're major league now because of getting ready to start a 24th year of the Memphis Grizzlies.
That's right.
We're not dying for that like we used to.
No, it's different.
We got the major leagues.
It's a lot different nowadays, and hey, it's those things are okay. Those things are all right. But hey, we got a busy show today, jam packed with guests. So let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30. Our Coach Tommy West, he's going to join us. We'll talk a lot of college football with him. We'll recap what happened over the weekend. We'll also get his thoughts on Arkansas and Memphis.
And he knows what it's like in that building all week before the Tigers get to play that SEC team.
Yeah. So it's going to be a really good conversation with Coach Tommy West here in our next segment. 3:45, we'll talk some baseball, some really fun games last night, some good storylines as we get closer to the weekend, as we get closer to wrapping up the regular season. 4 o'clock, David Cohn, co-host of Crane & Company. He'll join us. We'll talk more college football with him. We'll go more national scale, talk about what happened over the weekend, start previewing a couple of these games this upcoming weekend. At 4:30, we'll talk more about the Tigers. Jeff Brightwell from the Tigers Radio Network. He'll join us, and we will preview this Tigers and Arkansas game and see what he thinks about the upcoming game. We'll also get his thoughts on the 3-0 start for the Memphis Tigers, what he has seen from this Tiger team. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Maddie Hudak from the Tulane Radio Network. She'll join us. We'll start previewing this Tulane-Ole Miss game that we'll see over the weekend. We'll also get her thoughts on how the Tulane season has started. I think a lot of excitement down there with the way that the last couple of years have gone, but really what they've got cooking this season. We'll get to a little American, her thoughts on the conference, her thoughts on the Tigers, a lot of that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together, and right now at Family Leisure, it's their world's biggest spa sale. Spas starting at $29.99, and swim spas now up to 30% off. Floor model specials, they're going on right now as well, and cold plunges, they're starting at $49.99. Also, free umbrellas with a purchase of select patio furniture sets. And don't forget about those swimming pools. The clearance pricing, it goes through the end of October. Buy now and save on that price increase, and take advantage. Special financing, it's available right now, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
I cheated the Grizzlies out of a year. It's 25 years, isn't it?
I thought so, but I was starting to kind of do my years, and what year are we actually
01,
in? Yeah.
25. Yeah, 25. Wow, how fast did that go?
Crazy.
That's your whole life.
I was about to say, Brett, that's my existence right there.
And it's a whole lot of my life.
Yeah, that's right.
We welcome you aboard. We are Sportstime. We're with you until 6 o'clock. We're live and we're local. He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. I do know that number, and that's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. We're always live. We're always local. And we're always in our family leisure studios in this hour. Every day our show is brought to you by the great people at Lexus of Memphis, the only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models. And the 26 is starting to roll in, and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, we're getting closer to the big game on Saturday for the Tigers. Memphis and Arkansas. It's the game we talked about pretty much all offseason as the big non-conference game for the Tigers, getting back to, having something Memphis and Arkansas back on the schedule. I know a lot of people really excited for this game on Saturday. And I think in the offseason, you looked at this game and you go, okay, well, this is an Arkansas team that's really struggled, and this Tigers team that's played really well, especially when they've played power conference opponents. They've looked really good. They're rolling, but it's a completely new team. Now you look at what Arkansas has shown through these first 3 games, and offensively, they have looked really, really good. It's going to be a big game for the Tigers defense. We've talked about the last couple of games. I know Jonah Dillon talked about it when he joined us about the missed tackles for the Tigers. I think they're in the bottom 10, bottom 15
Arkansas will make
tackles.
You pay.
And that quarterback, Taylor Green, he'll certainly make you pay if you start missing tackles. So this game feels like, as much as we talk about the offense, as much as we talk about Brendan Lewis and the running game, this feels like it's a game that's going to come down to the defenses, who can come up with stops, and can the Tigers slow down Taylor Green. I know there was a lot of talk about a couple weeks ago when the Tigers saw TJ Finley against Georgia State and really struggled in that first half. A lot of people were pointing out that TJ Finley, as a dual-threat quarterback, kind of had his way with the Tigers and kind of exploited that defense a little bit. Well, Taylor Green is that times 10. So the Tigers are definitely going to have to be on their P's and Q's, but I think this is a good opportunity for that Tiger defense to show what they've got, because I think they've got some really good players on that side of the ball. And if they can slow down this Arkansas offense, I think that's going to mean really good things to come in conference play. The offense, they've looked really good, and I think that run game, it sounds like, and we'll get maybe some thoughts from Jeff Brightwell on it, but I keep thinking, I know we talked about it yesterday with Matt Infield, and he said, I don't want to get too much into the depth charts. Greg DeWosit, who's been, quote, day-to-day for the last 2 weeks, now on the depth chart is listed with an or by his name. That tells me, Brett, that things are trending to him maybe playing against Arkansas. You have him back. You have another weapon in that backfield. I think this is going to be a really fun game. We've talked about, I think the line right now is Arkansas is a 7.5-point favorite. I think this one's going to be, I'll save my pick for Friday. Mm-hmm. I think this one's going to be maybe a little closer than that 7.5.
We've been Group Lock City all year on the Tigers.
We really have,
we'll see on
Tigers
Friday.
Have done a really good job covering the spreads. 3-0 this year, Brett.
My top story, look at the state of college football over the May and June mass hysteria and confusion around college football. It couldn't be better on the field and in the stands and the TV ratings. This coming Saturday night, starting at kind of at 5 o'clock. That's kind of early for Saturday night, but close enough. You're going to have a game on FS1. Then all the way through Saturday night, games on ABC, NBC, ESPN, SEC Network, ESPN2, ESPNU, CBS Sports Net, Big CBS. At 10 o'clock on Saturday night on Fox 13 in our area, you'll have kickoff for Michigan State at USC. Kind of a battle for Sparty, right? Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. Sunday, you'll have football on all day on every channel on a Saturday. Mauling baseball, mauling the NBA. Tennessee and Georgia peaked at 16 million people watching Tennessee and Georgia. The NBA Finals are half that.
We talk about Michigan State and USC. That is, people not very happy.
I said the
about
NBA Finals.
No, I know. It's not even in the same league, Brett. But that Michigan State USC game, people are not happy about that start time. It's a little too late for some Michigan State fans. They are really not happy about it.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is Major League Baseball as we are getting closer to postseason play, and we're starting to see a lot of our questions slowly starting to be answered. Who are going to win these divisions? Who are these wild card teams going to be? I know everyone on wild card watch right now, and you look in the AL, I think it's pretty wrapped up. We'll see, maybe Cleveland, who is super hot right now, and the Red Sox, who've kind of been struggling. Maybe something happens there, but really over in the NL is where the questions arise. The Diamondbacks, who I believe are playing right now, they're only a game and a half back from the Mets. The Mets got a big win last night, one that they really needed. Will they be able to fend off this Diamondbacks team? Right now, Diamondbacks tied with the Giants 0-0 at the end of the third inning, but that's going to be an exciting one to watch as the season wraps up. But a lot of the teams that needed wins last night, they got those wins. We'll see if that continues tonight.
My not top story, already through 2 weeks, only 10 NFL teams remain undefeated. 3 in the NFC West. That's after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Rams at Philly this weekend. Arizona at 49ers. That's the only 2 games that will have undefeated against undefeated. 72 Dolphins. Look, if the Patriots couldn't do it, nobody's ever joining them, especially after going now 17 games. We're going to 18. Too bad, too sad, Rodney Harrison. You didn't do it, and it will never, ever, ever happen.
No, it really won't. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break, and when we return, we're going to talk some more college football. Our coach, Coach Tommy West, he joins us next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Founded in 1991 by lifelong law enforcement officers, ProTech Security can perform all security services for personal or corporate clients. Uniformed armed guard, plainclothes officers, neighborhood patrols, violence in the workplace, event and party security, dignitary protection, and alarm response. Licensed and insured in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee. They are currently looking for armed security officers, retired law enforcement, and military personnel especially. Premium pay and no limit on hours worked. If interested, give them a call at ProTech Security, 901-274-3400.
Your journey starts here at Gossett Hyundai on the Pike, and it's a dream come true. 2025 Hyundai Sonata, buy it for $27,689, or we Gossett at $273,61 a month. How about 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE? We Gossett $30,775, or just $339 a month, or 1.99% for 60 months is available. And right now, Gossett Hyundai on the Pike's got 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe XRT all-wheel drive loaded, $349 a month, plus America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Hyundai, 1870 Covington Pike, or visit online 24/7 at HyundaiGossett.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $10,000 per year, 0 acquisition fee. Sonata SA 516,776, MSRP 28,810. Tucson TH 619,518, MSRP 31,755. Santa Fe SH 11,0054, MSRP 43,635. Must finance through Hyundai. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations. Fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting to build out here pretty much in the normal spots for this time of day. 240 going eastbound as you work your way past Mill Branch all the way out to 385. I can still see a little bit of rain south of Memphis this afternoon down certain sections of 55, not only through DeSoto County but pushing down into Tate County. Again, you could run into some of those showers down 55 going southbound south of Memphis. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. Stop by and see them at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some college football. Coach Tommy West joins us now like he does every Wednesday during the college football season. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to this week with all the action we had last weekend. Definitely want to get into some of these games this weekend, including the Tigers and the Razorbacks. But let's start with Tennessee and Georgia, the big game from Saturday. A really fun game. Tennessee goes up big. Georgia comes back, comes down to Tennessee has an opportunity to win it with a field goal. They miss that. We go to overtime. Georgia ultimately wins. What'd you make of that game?
Well, I said last week I thought Tennessee would win the game, and it was a heck of a game, and they certainly should have won the game. You can't miss a 38-yard field goal to win. That was basically a chip shot that you got to make those. If you're going to be. But I think what we learned about Tennessee is that they're certainly productive offensively. They can be as good as anybody. And they're a field goal away from, being probably a top 5 team. So I think Tennessee is still a team that's got a great chance to be a playoff team and possibly make a run. Georgia, about what I thought, got a lot of really, really good athletes, good players, still not totally sold on the quarterback, tough guy, good leader, just not sure he's as good as what they've had in the past. And so we'll see. I think the big question now is, are these teams really better than we thought, or is everybody about the same? Because there sure are a lot of people that are pretty close right now.
That's a great question, Coach. My thinking, and I've expressed this really all kind of in the run-up to college football now through 3 weeks. I think the SEC is really, 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 really good. I don't think it's a vintage, and I can't point to one team and go, yeah, everybody in college football has got to catch this team.
I agree 100%. Couldn't agree more. I think the SEC from top to bottom may be the best it's ever been, because even the teams that we've anticipated would be in the bottom, the Arkansas, Mississippi States, Vanderbilt, those guys are playing pretty good football right now, Vanderbilt in particular. But I think Kentucky's another one that's competitive. But I think from top to bottom, the league is really, really good. But exactly what I was thinking, there's not a team in the league, anybody in the league can lose on a given Saturday. There's not. I agree, Stats. There's not that team that you just go, I think they can run the table.
It looks a lot like after Coach Bryant retired, and now it's Coach Saban. The SEC did not win a national championship in the 80s, or other than Georgia in 80. After Coach Bryant retired after the 82 season, Auburn was really good. LSU had good teams. Alabama had some good teams, but there was not a national champion, and I don't even think anybody's claimed one lately, have they?
Well,
I mean, we got a lot of claiming national champions.
No, I couldn't agree more. I really think the league's really good, and like we just said, I think the league is. Our top teams are capable of beating anybody in the country. Now I look back now, and this is why I said way back prior to the week one. The preseason polls mean nothing. Now, maybe after this week is when you need to start having your polls. Texas was number one team in the country by most people. We'll see where they are at the end, but as of right now, Texas doesn't look like they're going to be a playoff team. You look at Clemson. Clemson was a top 5 team.
We had them. Bryant and I both had them in the finals.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you got Virginia Tech's flopped. South Carolina doesn't look very good at all.
No.
How about South Carolina's got maybe the best quarterback in the league? I say maybe the best. He's not playing that way to me, but they can't score points at all.
No, they've really struggled. Well, you mentioned Clemson. They lose on the road against Georgia Tech. Now a 1-2 start for them. Dabo in press conferences this week, he's saying, "Hey, I'm a very successful coach. If y'all want to run me out of town, go for it." What are you making of what's going on at Clemson right now?
And Coach West, when you say, Dabo, I can show you real pressure at Clemson. You don't know pressure at Clemson, man.
Go ahead and have that bad year and tell them how many you've won. Let me tell you something, Dabo. They don't care how many you've won in the past. Nobody cares. Understand, and he knows college football is what have you done lately. You got to do it this year. You preseason right. Nobody cares how many conference championships you've won before or what you've done. It doesn't matter. You have to do it this year. You got a team that was ranked top 5, and you're right, ranked 1 by some people, with a quarterback coming back that everybody thought would be a Heisman candidate. A really, really good defensive football team. You hired a guy and broke the bank to pay a guy to come in there and run your defense, and you're 1-2, and you lose to Georgia Tech. Now it makes me wonder, how good is LSU? I don't know. I really think you throw them all in a sack, throw them out. All these top teams are about the same.
I so agree. Around the country, they just look a lot like. We're visiting with Coach Tommy West on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. He's with us every week during the college football season, and we love visiting with him. And Coach West, you know what it's like. It's the old story of the AD introducing. You can fill in any school and any AD and any head coach, and he introduces the head coach after a big 10-2 year. Crowd going crazy, there, whatever chance you have, and he leans over and asks the AD, goes, "What if I go 6-5?" And the AD says, "They'll miss you too." So
we love you, but we're gonna miss you.
Right? And I bet you know that feeling from friends and boosters and around town, your family. When it's winning, they're best buddies with you, and when it goes a little bit the other way, they treat you like you got the plague.
I learned from Coach Stallings. When I got the job at Clemson, I went and met with Coach Stallings and spent about 3 hours with him because I just had a lot of respect for him. And, I learned a lot sitting listening to him. And that was one of his points is, if I could tell you something, he said, don't ever get too high with the wins and don't get too low with the losses. Because if you do, this thing will drive you crazy.
Man,
and that's what you got to do. You got to keep an even personality through all of it.
Coach West, you and Coach Gene Stallings are cut out. The same tough, rawhide. All right, so tell us about a week like this for Memphis Tigers, playing the big, bad SEC. Do you go around the building and tell people to calm it down a little bit, save some of this energy and emotion, and almost go full Gene Hackman in Hoosiers? I know it was basketball, but they put their pants on one leg at a time just like we do. It's a 100-yard field, 50 wide, same goal post. Everybody chill out a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I always thought these were the easiest weeks that you had. This is a week to me that's fun for Memphis because you're the underdog. You got them at your place. You got a chance to do something that a lot of people think you can't do. So, I always enjoyed these weeks. The hard weeks to me were the games that you knew the team was probably a little better than everybody thought, and you're expected to win the game because at the end of the day, you got to win the games that you're expected to win. And then every now and then, if you do that every now and again, you'll beat somebody you're not supposed to. So these weeks to me are fun. shoot, let it. You don't got to you motivate them. You don't got to motivate them for this game. You got to motivate them when you play that team that it's not winning games. So, no, this is a fun week, and they should enjoy this. Should have a chance to win the game.
It definitely should. It should be a really fun one. But their quarterback, Taylon Green, he does a really nice job in pretty much all aspects of the game. Running, throwing, true dual-threat quarterback. How do you slow him down if you're the Tigers' defense?
Well, they're not going to just totally stop him. I mean, I think he's a really, really, really good player, and obviously is playing pretty good right now. So they'll have to just try to keep him under wraps. Don't let him break long ones. Just make him earn what he gets. I think the key to the thing will be the Memphis offense against Arkansas's defense. I think if the Memphis offense can put some points on the board I think that's what you have to do. When we beat the Ole Misses and people that we weren't supposed to beat, we put pressure on them by scoring points and trying to keep them behind the 8 ball. And the longer you can stay in that thing, then the more the pressure goes to them because they're supposed to win the game.
And for the Tiger offense, do you slow it down just a little bit? I know everybody's kind of hurry up now, but do you try to slow it down just a little bit and let the play clock get a little bit deeper, a little keep away?
I do. I really believe that. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And we did that some while I was over here at Middle, and it used to frustrate me. I'd go talk to Stock about it. He'd get tired of hearing me come in there. I mean, we go play Alabama. Are you kidding me? We go to Alabama for the opening game, and we're running a hurry-up offense, trying to run plays as fast as we can. We should be Dean Smith. We should be sitting on a four-corner offense, burning as much time as we can and try to shorten the game and give them as few plays as we can. I mean, everybody knows if you're a baseball fan, I mean, the more at-bats you get, the more home runs you get. The more strikeouts you're going to get, the more walks you're going to get, the more at-bats. So don't give them as many at-bats. Unless you just feel like that your defense is that much better than their offense, then I would slow the thing down some and try to limit their snaps. And especially when they got a quarterback that's really, really good, the best way to stop him is don't let him out there.
Right. Keep the hand out. Keep the ball out of his hand, and coach. And it's not going to be oppressively hot, but it's going to be up there pretty good on the rug out at the fairgrounds. When all this hurry up just kills your big people, your O linemen and your D linemen, they can't catch their breath.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Now there are some people. Heupel's one. He's got an extremely fast West Virginia. I can't think of his name right now. Rich Rodriguez. His is extremely, extremely fast. Sonny Dykes is extremely, but most people are just, pretty fast, a little bit of tempo. They just don't huddle. They like to stay out of the huddle. And I'm not for a huddle. I don't like a huddle. I think it's ridiculous to run everybody in there and run everybody out.
Yeah. On three, right.
Yeah, and it just gives all the coaches that, are mad because they're not breaking the huddle right. I mean, it's just huddles went away. We quit huddling at Clemson in the 80s just because we didn't want our corners to run all over the field when you figure how much running they do all day. We never brought them in there. But, if you're just going to use a regular tempo and not huddle, which a lot of people say they're up-tempo, but they're really just a no-huddle team. And there's a difference now between a real up-tempo and a no-huddle. If you're going to be no-huddle, use the clock. You can run clock in a no-huddle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be a fun weekend. I know a lot of people here looking forward to that Memphis and Arkansas game. Coach, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it. Coach Tommy West with us every Wednesday, and he's been in those big games. He's won those big games, and he was talking about his admiration for Gene Stallings. When Coach Bryant retired, Bryant, he didn't have the full say-so, but he had a big opinion about who was going to be a successor, and like we talked about, he was AD. He wanted Gene Stallings, and Gene Stallings was the secondary coach for Tom Landry. And the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys was a legendary guy named Ernie Stautner, I think. And, Bama reached out to him. And he said, I'll take it. But whenever the playoffs are over for the Cowboys, no, we got to have you right now. You got to start recruiting. Because, look, after I got fired at Texas A&M, nobody was calling me to hire me. Tom Landry hired me, I'm with him through the playoffs.
Wow.
They said, well, we got to move on then.
Wow.
That's the kind of guy he is.
Wow, that's incredible. That is awesome. But, yeah, it's a big
Doesn't
ask.
surprise me he and Tommy West are tied.
Oh, no, doesn't surprise me at all. But always a lot of fun getting Coach West on with us every week. Every Wednesday we talk with Coach Tommy West. Right now we got to get to another break, and when we return, we're going to talk some Major League Baseball as it's getting really fun as we get towards the end of regular season play. We'll talk about what's going on. We'll do it next on Sports Time.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Don't miss the 53rd Annual Pink Palace Crafts Fair at Audubon Park, September 26th through the 28th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of food, live music, and of course, shopping for one-of-a-kind arts and crafts from across the Mid-South. It's a Memphis tradition you don't want to miss. The Pink Palace Crafts Fair, September 26th through the 28th at Audubon Park. Sponsored by First Horizon Foundation, Friends of the Pink Palace, and your friends at Sports 56.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Does your system sound like this? Hi, this is Lauren Choate from Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. If your HVAC system is over 10 years old, then it's probably out of warranty. Don't wait for it to break down and cost you expensive repairs, but be proactive with this incredible deal from Choate's. Right now, for a limited time, for the first 50 customers, we're giving a free 10-year labor warranty plus $1,000 off a brand new Carrier system install. That's peace of mind and big savings. And that's not all. Thinking about a backup Generac generator or maybe endless hot water with a Rinnai tankless system? You'll also get $1,000 off plus a free 10-year labor warranty on those too. Since 1958, Choate's has been serving the Mid-South with old-fashioned service you can trust. So turn to the experts with Choate's and call 347-8086 and let our family serve your family.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 total new vehicle retail sales report in Memphis market. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we already have a couple finals today in Major League Baseball. The Cubs, they beat the Pirates on the road 8-4, and the Cardinals, they were losers this afternoon. A 6-2 loss at home against the Reds. So 2 games complete, 2 road wins in Major League Baseball. A couple games going on right now, and really one to keep an eye on. It's the Giants and the Diamondbacks. Both teams right outside the wild card. Diamondbacks playing really well. They were right outside, only a game and a half back from the Mets for that final wild card spot. They're tied up 0-0 middle of the 5th inning, but a lot of intrigue as we go down the stretch of this regular season.
Who do you have on the most fragile alert?
In terms of wild card teams
that might be in now could play their way out.
I mean, I think you have to go with Mets. I mean, they just
still
all year has just been so rocky.
2 in a row though. That seems like 20 right now.
I mean, yeah, and especially that win last night against the Padres, the way that they were able to get out there early and get on the board.
Padres only 2 back of the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, but hey, they were the buyers they were the big buyers at the deadline. So I mean,
wild card expansion of the playoffs, it's worked.
No, it definitely has worked. And
another baseball thing that I was opposed to that after they did it, I like. Well, I can't say that Manfred was right.
Well, what was the first one?
Name them. DH. I mean, interleague play. About everything that's worked over the last 40 years I was against.
Well, there's also been things that have been awful, like the Ghost Runner. So, I mean,
the cooking mitt.
Yeah, that's true. But don't give. Well, I mean, cooking mitt wasn't Rob Manfred's fault. I can't blame him for that.
He allowed it.
That's true. But let's not give Manfred too much credit.
Oh, we won't.
No. But yes,
I can never forgive him calling his trophy, the commissioner's trophy that goes to the World Series winner, a piece of metal.
Yeah, well, no, not a good look for a commissioner of a major league sport. But that's what happened. I guess that was a weird time.
Cardinals lose today. Last weekday game of the year. Have Sunday afternoon. This weekend, the final home series of the year, and then a big changing of the guard. John Mozeliak out. Successful in the whole tenure, ended really, really, really poorly, and Chaim Bloom begins, and the field manager will be the first thing to be decided because Ollie Marmol has another year. It's a tough call.
It is a very tough call.
I can't crush Ollie Marmol with what he was handed. It's really a miracle to have, I think, 74 wins.
Yeah. No,
now the Cardinals have been pretty healthy all year too.
They have,
especially pitching.
Yeah, no, they really have. The health has been good to them this year. But no, it's a tough call. And so I mean, at this point, Brett, I wouldn't be surprised anything. If he comes in and decides let's make a change, I wouldn't be surprised. If he comes in and says let's at least let this last season play out, or at least start this last season. See what happens. I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you have to add years, or you let him start with one remaining?
I don't think you add. I think if anything, you let him just play out this, and then.
All right. Well, we know what a 5-13 start does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so if you're gonna fire him 1st of May, why don't you do it 1st of November?
Well, that's the thing. It's
really tough.
It's tough, but I think you have to make that decision if you want to keep him.
And who are you going to get?
That's right. I mean, it's a very good question, but I think if you decide to keep him, I don't know if you can add more years. I think you just have to say we're keeping him and see how the year plays out.
Go get him.
I think so. Because I mean, I think it'd be really.
Hadn't
tough.
he really been managing the last 6 weeks? Go get him.
Yeah, he has. But I think it'd be really tough for Chaim Bloom to come in and say, "This is our guy. We're gonna stick with him." Because I mean, let's be honest, Brett. How much is going to change on the playing field from right now to opening day next year? I don't expect a ton of changes.
I don't either. No big free agent acquisition.
No.
Maybe a few spare parts.
So I mean, if you commit to Ollie Marmol and you go out there and you have that 5-13 start and you've given him extra years. Well, I mean, the fan base is going to be in an uproar. I mean, why did we extend this guy? Why is he still there? Exactly. I mean, it's gonna get even worse than what it already is, and so it's a really tough call. I don't know where you go.
Tough off season, tough in sales, ticketing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
season tickets.
It's a different time for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Suites and signage and all that good stuff that the Cardinals always, didn't even have to call and renew people. Just knew it automatic.
Got that card on file. Go ahead and run it. Let's run it back for another year. But this year, a lot's changed, and it's going to look a lot different tomorrow. Here's some more. You want more good Rob Manfred news?
He resigned?
No, unfortunately. I can't go that good. But this might be something else that you like. The MLB has canceled the 2026 London series between the Yankees and the Blue Jays.
Well, that is good.
So that's but
utterly ridiculous.
But don't get too excited, Brett, because Rob Manfred, in I believe a statement, said that Major League Baseball is still committed to Europe. So the only reason it was canceled is because whatever team plays in that stadium has a game. A couple, West Ham maybe, they have a game a couple of days before.
You know I don't.
No,
know.
I know you don't know, but they have a game like a day or 2 days before, and there's not enough time to change it from a soccer pitch to a baseball diamond. That's the only reason it got canceled. But I know you don't like those international games, so another check mark for Rob Manfred.
But the Cardinals aren't going to come in last. Everybody picked them in last.
That's true. So I guess things aren't as bad as they seem.
Yay, we didn't finish last.
Where you put that? Where you put that pennant at?
Nowhere.
Put it in the very back of the storage room somewhere. I don't know. But it's going to be fun. A lot of good matchups tonight in Major League Baseball as we continue to see what this playoffs will look like. But we need to wrap up this first hour and get to another break. When we return, we'll talk some more college football. David Cohn, the co-host of Crane and Company, he'll join us next on Sportstime.
Ready to shine, Memphis? Save big on Club Car Wash's Best Wash this Tuesday for just $12. Stop by any 4 club locations in Greater Memphis or visit clubcarwash.com to learn more.
Club Car Wash, join the club.
Memphis football is back in action Saturday, September 20th when the Tigers take on SEC neighbor Arkansas in the Rhythm and Roar game presented by FedEx. Kickoff is at 11 and Tiger Nation, wear blue. The first 5,000 fans will score a special T-shirt honoring the culture and history of Memphis music. Plus, enjoy Tiger Walk and stick around for live music on Tiger Lane hosted by Stax Academy. Don't miss it. Be all in and get your tickets now at gotigersgo.com/tickets.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. There was a crash being cleared a few minutes ago over in Crittenden County on 40 eastbound, just before you get to the Hernando de Soto Bridge. It had it running a little bit slow, but it did look like it was in its clearing stages, so it could be out of there any minute. That's 40 eastbound before you get over into Memphis there at the Hernando de Soto Bridge. It's building now right on schedule, 240 eastbound from Mill Branch out to 385 Bill Morris Parkway. Limers Jewelry is your diamond engagement ring headquarters right here in Memphis. Go by and see them at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kid.
Two left at the table, just me and the man in red. Not a word was spoken, but more than enough was said. Bob came 10-9-2, he didn't bet, so I made my move. Pushed my chips all in, now my tombstone reads. Whiskey straight, coffee black, went all in with pocket jacks.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and joining us now, you just heard his voice, David Cohn, the co-host of Crane and Company, but that was his song, The Ballad of Billy Spades at Devil's Creek. David joins us now. David, thanks so much for joining us. I know a lot of football we got to talk about, but tell us a little bit about that one.
Sounding great.
Oh, man, thank you guys so much for having me. It's so cool to hear my words and lyrics and melodies and songs playing over your airwaves there in Memphis, Tennessee. I just had this idea in my head. I had these two lines, whiskey straight, coffee black, something, something, something. And I just had that in my head for several months, and then it finally hit me. I went all in with pocket jacks. It's no secret to people in my life that I love playing Texas Hold'em. I love playing poker. And
David, we got a little bad connection. Landon, let's try to reconnect with David, okay?
Yeah,
and see if we can get a little cleaner connection. Last weekend, David was in Tuscaloosa in Alabama. They were honoring his father-in-law, and we just talked about Bear Bryant. And you know I can talk about him anytime, Bryant. But Richard Todd, David Cohn's father-in-law, was the A-Club honoree and special captain for the game, had the number 14 jersey on, great wishbone quarterback, went to the Jets and had a really good NFL career, but was legendary player for Coach Bryant. It looked a lot of fun for David and his wife, the daughter of Richard Todd and her siblings and all the grands and everybody celebrating for Richard Todd at that game. And Alabama, I saw this note today about them. They're one of 9 teams in the country that hadn't turned it over yet.
Really?
That's pretty good. That's worth something, isn't it?
That's worth. I think that's worth more than something, Brad.
Now a wise guy could say, with what we saw against Florida State, it's a good thing they're not turning it over. They'd really get hammered. I think we got David back now. Let's see if it's cleaner. David, thank you for joining us back.
yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I hope you can hear me cleanly.
Much cleaner. Thank you. We love the music, and last weekend looked so fun for you and all the extended family celebrating the great Richard Todd. That looked great at Bryant-Denny. At Saban Field at Bryant-Denny.
Yes, Saban Field at Bryant-Denny. I definitely got to see that up there at the stadium. But, 2 weeks in a row, I had my personal state championship reunion in Statesboro the weekend before, and then back-to-back weekends getting to celebrate 50 years from that 75 SEC championship win with Richard Todd as the captain of the team. It was so much fun getting to see him be celebrated out there on the field along with some of his best friends like Bob Baumhauer. And I'm sitting there listening to stories back and forth on Richard Richard and Bob tell, about playing for Coach Bryant and about playing for the Dolphins and the Jets and how they'd face off against each other. As a longtime football fan, I was certainly eating that up.
What has he said to you through the years, being his son-in-law, about being, everybody's a country boy compared to moving to New York City, but getting drafted by the Jets and going from 4 years in college in Tuscaloosa to New York City?
Yeah, not just New York City, but imagine following Joe Namath up at both places.
Luck.
You go to Alabama after Joe Namath, you go to the New York Jets after Joe Namath, and, he said it was really tough because obviously Joe was at the tail end of his career, and they drafted Richard for a reason, and he said Joe was so great to him, and he said, look, it's your time to play, and Richard would say things like, man, they want you still. You've still got mileage. My time will come, and he said, no, your time is now. And for Richard to take over that mantle, I think it was an honor for him to be able to play with a great friend like Joe Namath. And he said certainly there were challenges. And as far as the New York aspect to it, he's told me a couple interesting Studio 54 stories back in the day. But I'll let him tell those.
70s were a good time to be alive, David. I just caught a little bit of the 70s, but you know the position of quarterback very well, and what you talked about how nice Joe Namath was. It's so overdone, kind of handing, everybody thinking that Brett Favre should be so great to Aaron Rodgers, and he wasn't, or Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Sometimes you get them being hospitable and a great friend and teammate. And then there are other times, get out of my face, Rook. I don't want you taking my job.
Yeah, and we've seen situations like that. Remember Ryan Tannehill right here in Nashville when, Malik Willis got drafted, and he sort of said something like, it's not my job to get him ready. I mean, there's two edges of that sword. One is, that's your competition, and you're not a coach, right? You have to concentrate on your own play. At the same time, the quarterback position is so unique across sports where your leadership, whether you're a vocal leader or whether you're a more silent leader, your leadership is paramount, and that's another individual who's on the team. No matter if you end up being better than him, no matter if he beats you out, if you're a quarterback, that is your teammate, and the quarterback room is such a tight-knit community. I mean, we at Michigan and in high school, we competed fiercely with one another, but we're spending 18 hours a day with each other, and those are the guys who you need to lean on. Those are the guys who you end up being roommates with, and you end up being a best man in their wedding, and that's just the way that it goes sometimes. And I know that, like Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, some of the examples you brought up, at some point it becomes a profession, and you have a legacy at stake and all those sorts of things. But that makes me admire Joe Namath even more with the way that he treated my father-in-law, Richard Todd.
I didn't know that it was possible I could raise my level of admiring Joe Namath even more, but I'll reach for the sky and try to get it there. David, remember that great video of Peyton with the Broncos, and it's late in the blowout. The Broncos are ahead, and Brock Osweiler's going to go in, and he kind of, no, I'm taking all the snaps. Get out of the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't remember until you just brought it up. But, yeah, look, different guys do it in different ways. And I've just, for me personally, I've been on both ends of that. I mean, not in terms of playing with Hall of Famers necessarily, but certainly in being the starting quarterback and having younger guys who are trying to take my position or take over for me when I leave. And then on the other side of that, being a guy who's a backup and, trying to raise my game to the level of, say, Chad Henne, who was the starting quarterback when I was at Michigan. So I've been on both sides of that. And certainly you like some teammates better than others. I mean, what can I say? When you got over 100 guys on a football team, you just mesh with some guys and not so much with others.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about your quarterback experience, a lot of people talking about Arch Manning as a former college quarterback. What do you see when you watch Arch Manning?
Well, look, I see a guy who's playing at the level that, quite frankly, I thought we might get. Some of these guys who make a career out of just being as clickbaity and hyperbolic as possible, and the goal is not necessarily to be accurate, and there's a lot of those guys, and they're on television and they're on podcasts and stuff. They may be saying, well, of course, I had no idea how Arch was going to play, and it doesn't matter because I'm in the entertainment business, and a lot of people clicked on my thing. So, again, I can't say what those people's ultimate goal was, but in terms of, like, what you had seen from the kid who stepped in relief of Quinn Ewers several times over the last few years, certainly there were questions on his ability to deliver the football accurately downfield. And so the question for me was, one, is he going to improve on that in the offseason once the job is fully his? Or two, will the game plans be more tailored to what he does best? Because he certainly can run the football. And honestly, he reminds me a lot of Haynes King at Georgia Tech when he runs the football. Now, I just put Haynes King on my top 10 quarterback list in the country that we are releasing tomorrow on Crane & Company, and the kid has not thrown a touchdown pass this year. 0 touchdown passes. He's thrown 1 interception, but he's rushed 4 touchdowns, and so far he has 2 victories. He beat Colorado on the road, and he just beat Clemson. So there are multiple ways to be successful in this game, especially on the college level. The NFL teams are so similar now in the styles of offense they play, but at the college level, you can have a quarterback like Haynes King who has a legitimate argument to make that I'm one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this country, and I'm not just doing it through the air. Steve Sarkisian could be tailoring game plans very similar for Arch Manning, but what would that do? That would risk injury a little bit more. That would not be the style of offense Steve Sarkisian is used to calling. And so you got some teams that know their identity and they play into their identity, and you have some teams and some players, like I think Texas and Arch Manning would fit into this category right now, where there's still some identity questions and there's certainly some more growth needed.
David, if I had to rank my SEC quarterbacks right now, I think it would be John Mateer 1, and I think number 2 would be the player I saw for Arkansas last Saturday night in Oxford. He did all he could do. He didn't play defense, and that'd be Taylon Green.
Man, what a quarterback battle we got last weekend with Taylon Green and Chambliss filling in there at Ole Miss. I don't have an argument against that. I think that Taylon Green is, especially in that Bobby Petrino offense, he's really lighting it up. John Mateer at number 1, that's what I have as well. I'm interested to see how that touchdown to turnover ratio ends up being for him. He will put the ball in harm's way sometimes because he is an old school gunslinger. That's where his ability in the run game really makes up for that. But, and there's a couple that have fallen off that list for me. Lenore Sellers was one of my Player of the Year candidates. Obviously tough with the concussion injury last week, but also even beyond being injured, just hasn't really been able to get it going with the struggles on the offensive line for South Carolina. DJ Lagway, 5 interceptions a week ago. That might be the worst quarterback performance that he ever puts forward on a football field that we ever see, and certainly the LSU defense manifested that. But I'll tell you another name, man. Diego Pavia, put the kid up there. And look, I'm just telling you like it is. I said all off season, sell the Vanderbilt stock while you still can. It will never be higher. They snuck up on some people last year. They legitimately beat some people last year because they were a good football team and he's a good football player. But he's run his mouth all off season. Sell the stock when you can. And so far, 3 weeks into the season, all the kid and that team have done is backed up everything that they have said. Now, it is still early in the year. I understand that. But he plays with so much confidence. He plays with so much swagger. And, again, he fits into that category I talked about of knowing what they are. They know what their identity is. And at some point, for some of these guys who we're talking about, they are not going to be the starting quarterback on your favorite NFL team in a couple years. But they are game winners. They know how to win, and they are ballers at this level of football. And Diego Pavia fits that as well.
Yeah, absolutely does. You mentioned Taylon Green in there. Memphis, they're going to face Arkansas and Taylon Green this Saturday. A lot of people here are very excited about that game. How do you think that game plays out for Memphis?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember coming on here a year ago and calling the Memphis-Florida State upset. I didn't realize that it wouldn't be that impressive of a call after all was said and done because Florida State had the worst season in program history and won 2 games. But, this is an important game for Arkansas because they had started 2-0. Then you drop one to Ole Miss, but you're in the battle the entire time and you lose a close game. Memphis, quality opponent, but an opponent you need to get a victory over. Again, I err on the side of points whenever we're talking about Arkansas and some of these opponents. So I think it'll be a little bit more high scoring. I don't know what the spread on that one is right now, what it's moved to off the top of my head, but I like Arkansas, and I like the way that Taylor Green is playing. He's playing within himself. I just watched some film of him about 90 minutes ago. There's nothing that wows you with the arm strength or like a laser arm, but he makes the right throws, and a lot of times that touch on the football is really what's needed. And with the element that he adds in the run game, I think he's a perfect fit for what Petrino's wanting to do.
And Arkansas really went all in NIL on that offensive line, and it showed when they have to play ground and pound and let the running backs run the ball, they can do that. Ole Miss got beaten pretty good at the point of attacking the line of scrimmage, and the total rushing yards for Arkansas was overwhelming over Ole Miss. If you're Bobby Petrino and Taylor Green, what do you want Memphis to do? Do you want them to blitz you? Do you want them to try to cover you? What do you want? Multiple? I think Sam Pittman described it this week as an exotic defense. If you're Petrino and Taylor Green, what do you want to see?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question. I think Arkansas right now is so confident in their ability and with their identity that they're going to run their game plan, and that I think that you can see Taylor Green's maturity in the fact that he can respond to whatever Memphis does, which what better could you say about a quarterback or an offense? I do think that if Taylor Green has shown the ability that if you are going to bring pressure, right, or if you're going to commit extra resources to the box to stop that run game plus his ability to run off of the zone read, then he is going to beat you on play action, and that sort of gets back to what I was saying with his layered throws. I don't see anything that's necessarily a bullet downfield, but he's very accurate with ball placement, and that play action to be able to throw the football over the linebackers and in between defensive backs, he's really shown that skill set. So if they're going to bring pressure, I don't think he minds that at all. Now, if they sit back in coverage or if they mix it up to where they show pressure and then they bail, that's where you talked about that Arkansas run game. I mean, my mind keeps going back to the Baylor and Auburn game to open the season. Baylor sat in that too high shell, and Hugh Freeze just said, well, we're going to rush for 300 yards today, period. And that's exactly what happened. I think that you hit on an important point with the Arkansas run game. Does Bobby Petrino and Taylor Green, do they have enough patience just to say, hey, they're sitting back in too high, they're actually not bringing pressure, let's just have a feast here on the ground today. I'm not going to throw for 300 yards, and we're going to win in multiple ways.
It's a good question. I'm talking to David Cohn. He joins us every Wednesday, the host of Crane and Company. Notre Dame now looks up. They're 0-2 on the season, but both those losses came against ranked teams. Where is this Notre Dame team at, and is kind of all hope lost for them at this point?
Well, they're in trouble if you're talking about postseason play, but let's give them kudos on the opponents that they opened the season with. I mean, how cool was that, being able to see Notre Dame go on the road to Miami, then they got a bye week, then they hosted Texas A&M. I love that they did that so that we could find out early. Now, a year ago, Jake Crane, my co-host of Crane & Company, asked me a question point blank the morning after Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois and said, will this team make the college football playoff? And I said, no, you can't lose to Northern Illinois and make the college football playoff. But people have short memories from September all the way until November and then Selection Sunday in December, and sure enough, Notre Dame made the playoff and they ended up playing for the national title game. Well, now they sit here 0-2, and again, I say I just don't think, even if they reeled off 10 in a row and they end up 10-2 with that schedule, losing to the two most important opponents you played, even if Texas A&M is a playoff team, even if Miami is also a playoff team, I don't know if 10-2 gets it done for Notre Dame, especially with not having the benefit of having a conference championship at the end of the year. But more than the wins and losses, set the 0-2 record aside. They don't have an identity. They're not playing the style of football that I thought they would. And this is another one of those things where you put forth propositions on teams before the season and you get them wrong. And that's one where we said Notre Dame, the roster is so complete, so dynamic on both sides of the ball that if this team ends up not meeting expectations, it must be because of a young quarterback in C.J. Carr, whose grandfather, Lloyd Carr, I played for, had the benefit of playing for at the University of Michigan. That premise is not held up. He is not the reason that they are losing football games. He threw one interception against Texas A&M, put the ball in harm's way a couple times, but if you need your young quarterback to be perfect in order to win, then there's all sorts of problems right now at Notre Dame. I can't remember a time where their secondary has looked so poor and they refuse to get out of man coverage. You're getting absolutely exposed, and all credit to Texas A&M for what they were able to do and come back and find a way to win that game. But Notre Dame, too much talent to be 0-2. I just wonder how the players and the culture there and the leadership is going to respond to see if they can right the ship, because certainly the schedule will get more manageable down the stretch for them.
David, if the Gators go to Miami and it's just hapless, I mean, penalties everywhere, it's a rout that drops Billy Napier to 2 under 500 in his Florida tenure, would they do anything Saturday night, Sunday morning?
I don't know. I can't say, just because I don't know the thought process of the AD. I mean, again, they could have, for all we know, they could have already mentally moved on. I don't know at what point, I mean, again, talking about propositions that get put forward, the one with Billy Napier was, yeah, we've had losing seasons, but look at the 5-star quarterback I signed, DJ Lagway. He's the future. Handcuff me to him, and let's really see what we can accomplish. Well, not only now have you lost to South Florida and LSU back-to-back, but DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions. So I don't know if they've already mentally moved on. I don't know if they're the type to, pull the trigger on a move like that this early in the season without having an answer. Only they can say that. I just know that I do think, certainly he must be making every call in the book right now that you already can, because it's just it hasn't been good enough on the field, and now even the star player that you signed, it's not looking good. So I think there will be a new coach in Florida, and I hate that. I hate when guys get fired, right? But at some point you just have to move on.
Well, we've already seen 2 teams move on early in the season. Brent Pry out at Virginia Tech, Deshaun Foster out at UCLA. Where do you see the state of those 2 programs right now, and do you see or do you have any candidates in mind that could fill those positions?
Well, look, I mean, Virginia Tech, what a proud football program. Yeah. I mean, I grew up, in the late 90s when I fell in love with college football. Frank Beamer had it rolling. They're playing in the national championship against my then-favorite program, which was Florida State, and they have Michael Vick and all that. And so that program, to me, is too proud of a football program to completely collapse. I don't know what's going to happen with the super leagues and the SEC and the Big Ten pulling away. But Virginia Tech, if they hire the right guy, to me, that can still be a problem program in the ACC. But again, you can't let too many years in a row slip away, or else you're not having the brand recognition with younger guys who are now falling in love with the game. And it just, you're falling away in the eyes of the kids who you need to sign coming up, right? The UCLA point, kind of a similar thing. But being in the Big Ten, I do think is you can land a great coach over there who wants to come in, and they want to be a part of the proud tradition of UCLA. They want to compete in state and inner city there with USC. They want to compete in the Big Ten. Deshaun Foster just wasn't the guy. I mean, from the moment he stepped forward in that press conference for Big Ten Media Days, I almost could not believe my eyes. I could not believe that a head football coach could go up there that unprepared, and boy, that team has sure played just like his press conference played out.
Yeah, they really have. We've talked about it. I mean, it's kind of hard to see, especially UCLA, where they're at, where that program is at right now. It is really kind of hard to believe, but definitely they have time now to kind of look at all their options and decide who that next head coach is. David, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy this weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David. As always, thank you so much. And not only the time for UCLA, Bryant, make sure you have the right people using that time.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean,
here's an idea I see out there about UCLA. Quit playing it at the Rose Bowl Stadium. Move to SoFi. It would be a lot closer for what students that want to go from Westwood.
I don't hate that.
And the visual wouldn't be as bad with all those empty seats.
So bad, Brett. It's
crushes
awful. It's awful. So I think that's a good idea.
there's a lot they have to fix, maybe more than just where they play, but they have a lot to fix. This hour brought to you every day by Landers Ford in Collierville, the #1 Ford dealership in the Mid-South, and you can trade up and drive like a pro still from a vehicle at Landers Ford in Collierville. The last remaining courtesy vehicles used by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship are demo priced at X-Plan pricing. Don't miss out during the Strength in Numbers event. You'll see what's made them the #1 Ford dealer in the greater Memphis area. The price you see is the price you get. No hidden language in there. You don't have to read the fine print. It's very bold print. See it all at LandersFordMemphis.com. The last remaining Explorers and Expeditions used by the pros at the FESJC, they are demo priced at X-Plan pricing. A portion of all proceeds, of course, will be donated directly to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Trade up and drive like a pro and support a great cause. Now is the time to buy. The price you see is the price you pay. Find the numbers that work in your favor at LandersFordMemphis.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, we're going to talk some Tiger football. Jeff Brightwell from the Tigers Radio Network. He joins us next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech For You. Technology simplified.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Everyone needs protection, whether you're on the field or on the road, so make sure you have the best. Bob Simpson State Farm Insurance can buckle you up with auto insurance, can back you up with life and health insurance, cover your business whether it's starting, growing, or maturing, and don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today at 901-381-1233 or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson.
Hey, I've got Rockin' Ronnie on the line at Gossett Hyundai South Mount Moriah. What's rockin' with you, Ronnie?
We are rocking some big savings at Gossett Hyundai Mount Moriah. 2025 Hyundai Sonata, $27,689 or $273,61 a month.
That sounds amazing. What else you got, Ronnie?
What about the new 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE, Randy? I've got it for $30,775 or $339 a month.
Another winner. What else you got?
I've got a 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe SE, only $345.54 per month.
And America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So it's time to get to Gossett Hyundai South and ask for Rockin' Ronnie. He'll take care of you and make you a great deal on a Hyundai at Gossett Hyundai South, 2660 Mount Moriah, or shop online anytime at HyundaiMountMoriah.com.
Sonata SA 516 776, MSRP 28810, Santa Fe TH 162,611, MSRP 37285, Tucson TH 619,518, MSRP 31755, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes half-hour license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only must finance through HMA.
If you're hungry and ready for action, get both this Friday at Top Gun, 2770 Whitten Road, because Top Gun is now the home of Fox Ridge Pizza, serving the best pizza and burgers in Memphis since the 70s. I'll be there from 11 to 1 this Friday with specials like a free range pass with ammo purchase and special unlimited range use Monday through Friday for just $29.99, and a chance to win tickets to the Memphis FAU game. Plus, we're celebrating the grand opening of Fox Ridge Pizza inside Top Gun, 2770 Whitten Road. See you this Friday.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Minute Hall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting a little bit heavier now on all the major outbound routes, especially trying to get south of Memphis. We had to deal with some rain earlier down through there on 55 through DeSoto County, approaching Tate County as well. Again, there's some scattered showers out here, so just be careful. It's moving right now, 240 east from Mill Branch as you work your way down to 385, getting on to Bill Morris Parkway, going outbound. Weimer's Jewelry is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store. They're right here in Memphis, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
She's free, merry-go-round in dreams.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we're about to talk some Tiger football. Jeff Brightwell from the Tiger Radio Network. He joins us now as a big game this weekend, Jeff. But before we get to the game on Saturday, let's talk about what you've seen so far from this Tiger team. 3-0, 2 road victories, the home win against Chattanooga to start the season. What has jumped out to you? What have you thought about this 3-0 start for the Tigers?
Well, it's hard to say like anything's jumped out. I mean, you start off of like a lot of teams with the FCS team. You had a little bit of adversity in the first half at Georgia State. Things settle down after the half. Then Goose Crowder gets hurt, third play of the game at Troy, and you made them one-dimensional. And once he went down, you kind of knew at that point that was a team without their starting quarterback that was not going to come from behind once you got up 2 scores in that game. Saying that, I just don't think we've seen the team open things up playbook-wise. I think they've run what they've needed to run. I think there's still a lot of stuff to be determined offensively as far as opening up the playbook. Now, what I have seen is I think we've got a fairly solid defense, save that first half against Georgia State, but once they made the adjustment and started getting a little bit more pressure on the quarterback, that was big. So, I think the question mark right now will be, what will the secondary look like against a team that's got equal talent as you in Arkansas, and how will the Tigers match up? I mean, you've progressively built up, I think, opponent. Now you're going to see, kind of a litmus test as far as how good can this team be, and really how are we going to match up down the road once you get USF, Tulane, and Navy at home. I think this is going to be a really good measuring stick to see, okay, is this team for real this year?
And Jeff, you talk about some things that hadn't been shown. I know it takes all 3 phases to win any kind of game, but especially this kind of game, underdog at home against SEC team. But I want you to give me one. If it's a successful Tiger day and it's a W, will it be an offensive win or a defensive win?
Well, that's such a good question because I think the game will be high scoring. I mean, I think Arkansas. You know them pretty well. You saw them last week. I think it's a team. This isn't the old Arkansas, the ground and pound, grind it out, when it's 17-10 type of team anymore. I mean, I think, especially Bobby Petrino over there, I think they want to get the game. They'll be happy to get you in a boat race and go up and down the field. At the end of the day, though, even in high-scoring games, isn't it a big defensive play at the end of the game?
Got to make a play.
That usually, I mean, you can take a look at a 56-49 game. Someone batted a pass down late in the ball game. So
that's it. One defensive play made the whole night last Saturday night. And I go back to Super Bowl 52 when Nick Foles pulled off the upset of Tom Brady in Minneapolis. I was at that game. There was one defensive play made all day, and the Eagles got to Brady when he was driving late.
Yeah, so it could be the defensive play, and it could be, we've got an untested kicker right now. I mean, Fedek made that 55-yarder down in Atlanta 2 weeks ago, but he's only had to attempt 3 field goals. So even though we know he's got range, we've not – a halftime field goal is much different than having to kick a field goal with the game on the line at the end of the day. So if it comes down to that, we may see. Now, I do like what I've seen out of our kick return and kick coverage teams this year. I think they're improved, but still the kicking game as far as field goals. Fedek's done great on kickoffs this year, but we've seen a team last year that struggled on field goals, and you and I have talked about this before. When you get across that 40-yard line, if you don't know that you got 3 points in your back pocket, that changes a lot of stuff from play calling to do you go for it on 4th and short, do you pooch punt there? That changes the whole scope of an offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tigers also have been dealing with a couple of injuries. Greg DeWosier got injured in the first quarter of the season opener against Chattanooga, has missed the last 2 games. How close do you think we are to seeing him return to the field?
Well, I mean, all we've heard is he's day-to-day, but I would have a hard time thinking that even if he is able to go this week, you're going to see a ton of carries out of him since he hasn't played for 2.5 weeks. I still think, Sutton Smith obviously has shown what he can do. I like what we've seen out of Bakari Bodiford this year. I thought he would make a pretty nice run this year after getting a handful of carries last year as a freshman. Peasant's been a nice addition, last-minute addition from Middle Tennessee. So will we see DeWosier? Not sure, but I would not think it's going to be a whole lot of carries, if any, if he gets in that ballgame.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Sutton Smith has looked really, really good. And how have you – I know we talked about before the season, but how do you like this offense now? We knew it was going to look a little different with the dual-threat quarterback in Brendan Lewis. What have you noticed in kind of opening it up and changing some things around with that dual-threat ability? What have you made of the offense?
I mean, I like the maturity of Lewis because if you get a dual-threat quarterback and he's a young guy, they run backwards from the pocket. Once the pocket starts to close in, their first instinct is to run backwards and run for their life. He'll play up in the pocket. He's still pretty patient in the pocket. Even when he rolls out, he'll remain patient before he takes off. I think it was, talking to the coaches, I think he was a little surprised early in the season that, he played for some schools where he ran for his life for 4 years. Because there really wasn't a pocket that ever developed. So I think it kind of caught him off guard that, don't panic. You've got some protection here. I think he's settled into that, but I think he's got a maturity. He's not the, I don't want to say, not that classic dual threat quarterback that just takes off in an instant. I think he does a good job of reading the defense as far as checking down, as far as his receivers before he makes that decision. Even when you've seen him roll out, like I said, he doesn't just take off and go for the line of scrimmage where then you can't pass at all. He's been pretty patient. I've enjoyed his maturity this year.
Who is his go-to receiver, or has he developed one?
No, he hasn't, because Ryan Simmerfield was asked that last week in a presser. Is there a go-to guy yet? And right now Memphis has gone 7 or 8 deep at wideout. Last week they hit 10 different targets, that includes your tight ends and your running backs and everything. But Ryan right now, and even Tim Cransey goes, I trust. I've got a group of 6 or 7 that I really trust. And it's one of those things. Do you like to have that superstar go-to guy? Obviously you do. But if you do, everyone knows where the ball's going in the big play. We had Calvin Austin. Everyone knew that it's going to Calvin. Now, Calvin made a lot of plays still. But if you have, say, even narrow that down, if you have 3 or 4 guys that you can really trust, it challenges a defense a little bit more. So no one's really emerged as, that is the guy. Now, I think Bram's been good because he's played with Lewis in the past, and you can tell they've got a familiarity with each other. They kind of know where each other are going to be. And then he said Bram's already gotten about 95% of the playbook down in the 4 or 5 weeks that he's been here. So he's been a good addition. So, I mean, we may find out Saturday who the go-to guy is.
Who does it need to be?
Oh, man. Right now, I would say Bram because he's familiar with Lewis. They've played together. I just think, you've been together for a few years, even though you're both at a new school. I'd like to see him, and he's been around. He's been around these games before, so right now I'd like to see that be him.
I'd like to see Brady Cluse just on a little 10-yard dig and see if he can catch that like he can the one-handed grabs.
I would just tell Brady Cluse to run to the far corner and put your hand up.
Yeah. Let's just run it down and out.
Might as well.
Yeah, it's funny. Cluse gets that Sports Center top 10, and he doesn't have a lot of catches, but over the last 2 years, he's suddenly made some big, like, possession-type catches. So we'll see if he continues to emerge or if he just is going to be that possession guy, which is, hey, man, you can make a career being the possession guy.
Another receiver a lot of people excited about before the season, C.J. Smith. He suffered that injury right before the season started. We haven't seen him as much since he's returned from that injury. Hadn't been a lot of time to see him. But do you think we'll see more of him being implemented in this offense as he kind of gets healthier?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, he's done some stuff on special teams. Ryan talked about that the other night on the coaches show that, if you've fallen behind due to injury and you're trying to work your way back into the regular lineup, obviously the wideout like he is, there's still some other things you can make yourself valuable in. And in special teams right now, that's where he's making himself valuable. But, again, kind of an unknown. Maybe he pops up and gets 6 or 7 catches on Saturday. He obviously has the physical tools to do it.
Jeff, at some point in the year, you become this. This might be a little early for you to know it, and I don't think you're giving away any game plan information. Would you call the Tigers a right-handed team or a left-handed team? What's the power side of the O-line?
Oh, man. I couldn't even guess on that right now. I know
a little early.
That's 2 big runs have gone to the right side, off the guard and off tackle, so I'll just kind of go with the fact that his 2 big runs this year have been off the right side.
Well, it's a good reasoning behind it. So we've talked about this game on Saturday, and Brett asked me earlier kind of what I thought the percentage of attendance would be. What do you think it will look like at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium on Saturday in terms of kind of a percentage of Memphis fans to Arkansas fans?
Now, I think that I've had these discussions with a couple of my friends, and I think the fact that we have reduced capacity changes the whole scope of that because, you go back and we've got 55,000 seats.
Sure.
There's a lot more room to sell visiting tickets. And for the Arkansas fan base, especially those on this side of Arkansas near Memphis that may not get to go watch them in Fayetteville very often, would flood Memphis. But now with roughly, 35,000 for attendance this year, it makes your fan base that already has tickets solidifies that a little bit more. I would say about 50-50. In the past, maybe I would say it'd be 60-40 because you see a lot of the Arkansas fans come in, but they're just not that available seating this year.
Jeff, you know football. Have you watched the Ole Miss Arkansas game? And if you have, tell me what you saw.
Yeah, I watched a lot of it the other night because we got that 11 a.m. game. They're scary, and I know some people over at Arkansas State. I was over there calling a game for them the other day, and they were telling me about it. And look, Arkansas State was a holding call away from beating Iowa State at home last week, so they're not a bad team. And Arkansas blew past Arkansas State 2 weeks ago. And the guy that I know used to work at Memphis, and he told me because they're for real. He goes, they're big, they're strong, they're fast, they can play. Like the Memphis coaches. Arkansas's got their attention. It was Tim Cramsey yesterday in his presser. He was asked, "What do you think about it?" And he goes, "They're scary. They're big, they're fast, they're strong. They get to the ball. It's going to be a challenge. They're going to be a tough team this year. It's going to. I wouldn't venture to guess. If you ask me who's going to win, of course, I'll look through my Tiger glasses, but that's going to be a nip and tuck game. That's going to be a very physical, violent type of game, I think, Saturday.
And going to be fun. How early will your day start Saturday?
9 o'clock, but you know me, Brett. I'll probably be there at 6 o'clock.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm afraid I'm going to miss something, Jeff.
It's going to be an early one.
Our analyst, Harry Harrison, says, y'all like to get here early enough to lime the field.
It's so funny. That's like my reputation over there. And my father was like that. I'm super early to everything where I'll have to wait in the parking lot to go into somewhere. But I always come back with, but I've never been late.
Wow.
That's it. That is it. And I would rather be sitting there than in traffic or car trouble. I'd rather be sitting and waiting for everybody to show instead of me in a big frenzy.
That's right. That's right.
a really good point. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun
It
on
will be.
Saturday, an early one, Memphis and Arkansas.
Enjoy it.
Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again soon.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff, always. Jeff Brightwell from the Tigers Radio Network, and bright and early on Tiger Lane Saturday morning. All right, Brian, how early are you getting out there Saturday?
The plan is 9, which probably means I'll be there around 9:30. So, unfortunately, I'm not like either of y'all. I am either there at the time I say I'm going to be there, or I'm late. So.
All right, Brian, are you still associating with those people that wanted to leave early?
So
I'm kidding. I know
I
you're
will
friends.
see one of them at the game, but I'm not going. I'm going by myself to this game. So
You're
that
controlling your keys,
Yes,
huh?
I've already told people I'm going by myself, so I can decide when I get there and when I leave, because I don't want to be there
Always.
too early and I don't want to leave early. So I'm gonna decide for myself.
I think it'll be going pretty strong when you get there at 9 o'clock.
I think so, and I hope so.
Tigers come through about that time, don't they?
I think that's exactly the time that they
Yeah,
have
2
the
hours
Tiger
is
Walk.
big for
Oh, yeah.
all walks and arrivals and.
No, that is huge. But yeah, 2 hours gives me enough time to pop around, see all the people I need to see before the game starts, get my spot, and enjoy the great game. So I'm excited.
It will be fun, and plenty of Arkansas fans are really looking forward to it. I think I know that what it says in the record book, but they got a win of sorts. I think they got some real enthusiasm about the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. I think there should be some excitement. They're a fun team to watch. The offense is fun, and I think when you got that working for you, you at least get that intrigue and get that excitement. So I definitely think a lot of excitement for this team, and will be a lot of excitement for this game from both sides.
Mean old Bobby Petrino. He's been out at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium a lot before.
Yes, he has. So a
With
return
other
game
teams.
for
Well,
him,
it was just here at the Liberty Bowl.
That's true. Yeah, that was just last year. And Taylor Green, he's been here a couple times. So
Yeah.
a return game from him with Boise, with Arkansas.
Old home
so-
week for everybody. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just everybody's cozy here at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. But no, it's going to be a really, really good one. 11 a.m. For Memphis and Arkansas. We need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You have opinions? I think it's over. Of course you do. I don't think it's that simple. Everyone does. I got all the answers. Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com. To NST, it's never just another case. It's your shot at getting life back on track. Real help, real heart. 35 years and still winning. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or go online at nstlaw.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/music. That's ethos.com/music.
Memphis football is back in action Saturday, September 20th, when the Tigers take on SEC neighbor Arkansas in the Rhythm and Roar game presented by FedEx. Kickoff is at 11, and Tiger Nation, wear blue. The first 5,000 fans will score a special T-shirt honoring the culture and history of Memphis music. Plus, enjoy Tiger Walk and stick around for live music on Tiger Lane hosted by Stax Academy. Don't miss it. Be all in and get your tickets now at gotigersgo.com/tickets.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers, Ford, and Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
When you hear the sound coming, hear the drums drumming.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right, Brett, my big number today is the number 50, and it has to do with Major League Baseball. Last night in what was a phenomenal game between the Phillies and the Dodgers. We talked about Shohei Ohtani, what he did on the mound, 5 no-hit innings. He also hit a home run. That home run was big number 50 for the season for Shohei Ohtani. He became only the 6th player in MLB history to hit 50 home runs in back-to-back seasons. He joined Ken Griffey Jr., Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Alex Rodriguez, and Babe Ruth, who did it twice in his career. He also became the first to do it since Alex Rodriguez did it in the 2001-2002 season. So even though it was a loss, it was a historic night for Shohei Ohtani.
Second reference of MLB Network Morning Show, Mark DeRosa, he says, and he doesn't do it real boisterously, he just matter-of-factly says he's the greatest player to ever play.
I mean, I think what he has already accomplished, I mean, he puts himself in that category.
Can you imagine almost any other time than when he's playing if he was doing that in Los Angeles?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's insane.
I guess New York would be better for more earlier highlights.
Sure, but I mean, it's the perfect place to be, and makes sense why he left the Angels and just went right next door to the Dodgers. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world.
Up until the missed and all the labor issues and the missed World Series in '94, anytime before that, we're stopping regular programming for his exploits.
No, I believe it. But
I mean, he leads the Today Show and Good Morning America. Last night, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, I think he today deserves that. I mean, he is unbelievable what he does, and just last night having a historic night where he hits his 50th home run of the season while also throwing 5 no-hit innings. It's remarkable.
It really is. My big number is 40. It's been 40 years since the Florida Gators beat Miami at Miami.
Holy cow.
1985. 40 years.
Whoa.
It's hard to believe Florida, anything not favorable, they haven't done it in that long.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean.
And that's what faces Billy Napier. Wow. And I am afraid that, you go out there and it's 35-0 at halftime. 45-7 at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is how does this game play out? Because I think when we were talking about it earlier with David Cohn, when you asked him that, I was kind of thinking about it. In my head, I was like, there's no way they pull the plug after losing to a team like Miami. But you're right. If this is just an absolute, I mean, not even a game, not even competitive at all, then yeah, you might get to the point where, hey, we've had enough. We know that this is not going anywhere. We need to make a change. And it feels like, seeing what a lot of Florida fans and people who cover the Gators are saying, it feels like it's already done. It's just a matter of time whenever the athletic department makes the decision to make it official.
Yeah. And 2 under 500 and get hammered by the U.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
No, it's not good, and that's kind of, I expect this to probably
Only
be a big Miami win.
downside to that is who some will be calling for to be there. Well, 2. There will be 2 for the. We need so and so as the interim.
Oh, I have no idea.
Old ball coach Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer.
Okay. All right. I was trying to think of who's on their coaching staff that everyone would be clamoring to have as an interim. But no, you're right. It'd be those 2 for sure. That's hey, maybe I do want this to happen. Maybe I do want them to make the change and see that chaos ensue.
That would be chaos.
No, it'd absolutely be chaos. It would be a lot of fun to watch. And I don't know, this Miami team looks really, really good. In Florida, not so much, especially with DJ Lagway and all of those interceptions he threw last week against LSU. Well, we need to get to a break here in a second, but before we do that, let me remind you that you need to head down to Olive Branch and check out Frontier Western Store. Family-owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for all the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you're looking for, they've got it. But if you need a new pair of jeans, well, Frontier has you covered. They've got all the brands from Ariat all the way to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect style and size for you. While you're down there, check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dan Post, and Durango. And that's just to name a few of the brands that they've got when it comes to their boots. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Head down to Olive Branch and check out our friends over at Frontier Western Store. Well, we need to wrap up this second hour and get to a break. When we return, we'll continue talking college football, but we'll head down to New Orleans. We'll talk Tulane. They've got a big one this weekend against Ole Miss. We'll talk about that game. We'll talk about Tulane, the American Memphis. We'll do all of that next with Matty Hudak.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad, or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Family Leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. That is with any big sale. Special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Don't miss the 53rd Annual Pink Palace Crafts Fair at Audubon Park, September 26th through the 28th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of food, live music, and of course, shopping for one-of-a-kind arts and crafts from across the Mid-South. It's a Memphis tradition you don't want to miss. The Pink Palace Crafts Fair, September 26th through the 28th at Audubon Park. Sponsored by First Horizon Foundation, Friends of the Pink Palace, and your friends at Sports 56.
If you're lucky, the next time you visit Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown neighborhood bar, Harold will be behind the bar. You've probably been served by Harold at one time or another. He's a Memphis legend. Harold is the kind of bartender every bartender wants to be. He's been everywhere, seen everything, and done just about anything you can think of, and he has a story about everyone. Now, he's not going to force you to sit through stories if you want to just chat with your friends or be quiet by yourself. But if you engage with Harold at Bell Tavern, you won't regret it. If you want a cocktail and a tall tale, go to Bell Tavern.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Trying to clear a couple of wrecks now. It's building pretty good on I-40 eastbound from Warford, Hollywood, all the way over to White Station. Yes, it's starting to get heavy through Midtown and in a couple of spots, actually. But 240 east is starting to pick up even more so here at Mill Branch, all the way out to 385 as you get on to Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. Hey, make a difference by adopting a pet. Where? At the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. They've got animals now up for adoption. Check them out at memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're back in Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour. We're going to talk about this Tulane Ole Miss game, just Tulane in general, the American, Memphis, all that sorts of things. Matty Hudak going to join us here in a minute from the Tulane Radio Network. But we've talked a lot about Memphis and Arkansas for obvious reasons this week, but this is a big one this week for both Tulane and Ole Miss. We talked about a lot John Summerall and the time he spent at Ole Miss. So he's going to be amped up and ready to go for this one. It is, you kind of called it last week, Brett, the SEC American Challenge is almost what it kind of feels like. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this game. Maddie Hudak from the Tulane Radio Network. She joins us now. Maddie, thanks so much for joining us. A big one this week for Tulane against Ole Miss. What has the chatter been like? What is the buzz around this Tulane football team this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this game has really grown as important as the season has started for Tulane. When the schedule first came out, I mean, the non-conference schedule looked really ridiculous for a Group of 5 program, especially one that lost its starting quarterback and half of the starters on the team. But now that they've been able to, come out of 3 of these 4 games undefeated, I think it really puts, this one in sights for them and what their goals could be this season being a lot loftier than they might have expected. And so this is a really important one for the Green Wave.
And for Memphis against Arkansas on Saturday, and Tulane and Oxford against Ole Miss on Saturday, either one of them get a win Saturday, then they're not only on the inside rail to win the American, they're the Group of 5 team.
Yeah, I mean, no kidding. And when you look at the fact that both Memphis and Tulane lost, their starter quarterbacks for, different reasons, but to be able to come in and just keep rolling the way that they have, yeah, I think that, the American in general has been really strong this year, but you always look at that Memphis-Tulane Friday night game that's circled on the calendar every season, and I think a lot of that matchup will kind of come out of how these teams perform this weekend.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Tulane losing their starting quarterback from last week. They just played that quarterback last weekend with Darian Mensah and Duke. What was it like kind of leading up to that game, facing your former starting quarterback, and kind of the reaction afterward after the win?
Yeah, that was a weird week. I think it's less unique in college football to lose your quarterback. I think it's really weird, to have that non-conference schedule already be hammered out and have them come back to campus to start the year. I think it was a challenge for Tulane on just making the game, make sure it's not bigger than it is. And yes, there's obviously the obvious there in Darian Mensah, but there's still an entire team that they have to game plan against, and really just keeping their emotions in check. I think they did a really great job of that, and I think they kind of left the emotions to the student section in the environment at Yeoman Stadium that was really raucous and rocking. It was really fun, and it really made an impact on the field with 2 back-to-back false starts on the missed field goal to start the game. That really made a difference. And, I think the fans rushing the field, maybe a little premature in the year, but I think it was more just a catharsis moment of everything that was built up, and it was just really great for the Green Wave to get that win.
And Maddie, another packed house at Yeoman, and just getting used to it now over a couple of different coaches with Willie Fritz and now with John Summerall. It just kept on keeping on at Tulane.
Yeah, it's been really impressive to watch how this program just continued to rise. A lot of teams, when they lose that head coach, it doesn't immediately keep rolling right thereafter, but to have such a perfect hire in Summerall, one that really understands, I think, how this city ticks and has his finger on that pulse, and has just really leaned into that. And, all of the pleas, they were very impassioned and they worked, and I think, everyone can kind of see what this program can be.
And John Summerall, 35-9 in his head coaching years at Tulane and Troy before that. You haven't missed a thing with him. I fell in love with him when he was linebackers coach at Ole Miss. Willie Fritz, a really good guy. And last Friday night, I swear, Maddie, when I first turned on Colorado against Houston, I said it out loud, massive coaching mismatch between Coach Prime and Coach Fritz. But you got used to Willie Fritz. Now you're used to John Summerall, 2 good guys.
Yeah, it's just a really big difference. Willie, he really just has that kind of culture and way of him established, and he's a little, he's an older coach. So it's just a different way he goes about things. But I think Summerall just brought really an infusion of energy and immediately established his own culture. And I think that's easier said than done when, Tulane didn't have one before Willie Fritz came into town, and that was kind of the only thing that stuck with this program. So to come in and really put his own mark on things and have his core values be something that this team really buys into and really feeds into, and you can tell how much it makes a difference in a game setting. I just think he really was the perfect hire for this stage in college football, too, where you need a little bit of a personality, you need some young energy, and you need to just be able to adapt to the way things go. I think Summerall really has all 3 of those.
They're both pretty intense. Which one, Willie, Coach Fritz, or John, which one's more intense?
If you're asking, on game day on the sideline, I'd have to go Summerall. I've seen a few times where he's gotten a little impassioned with some refs, and I've been looking for, his get-back guys. But he is just really, he's a ball of emotion, a ball of energy. I think it's also just great how much he really does lean into his emotions as a head coach. I think sometimes, that can be a kind of guys just put their emotions away, but he really leads with them. And I think that's really just has his guys all rallying behind him. But it shows on the sideline for sure.
We talked a lot about Tulane in the offseason, about what they could do this season, and then we get the news kind of around media days that Jake Retzlaff would be transferring from BYU to Tulane. What have you seen from him? Obviously, kind of a late start for him getting with the program, but came in and I think has done a great job running this offense.
It's truly unbelievable. I just think back to that week where you think, you're kind of hibernating before training camp, and all of a sudden we're all on high alert because there's a new quarterback at Tulane, and you just really didn't expect that. He's been nothing short of just incredible to watch. I think really his mobility has been such a interesting factor. It surprised, his teammates talk about it. We talk about it. It's just not a level that we saw on film in a practice setting, but it's really, he just has a command and a poise about him. And, it was interesting. I had asked him before this last matchup if he had somewhat of a chip on his shoulder about all the talk about Darian Mensah all week, and he really shot that down. But it kind of did feel like he was showing everyone last weekend, I'm the new quarterback here at Tulane, and this is why. And I think, he has probably a little bit of a better runner than Michael Pratt was, just in terms of speed and knowing how to slide. And his leadership has really come along strong. And, it's just wild to think about what could have been if Jake Retzloff didn't show up to campus.
Yeah, and now, he comes in, kind of plug and play. Who needs all this spring practice and all these off seasons, Maddie?
Yeah, again, 38 days before the season opener, he was in an offense that used a clap cadence, and so having to learn everything about a verbal snap count, everything about Tulane's offensive system, and we've seen them run some creative plays. It's not like they've hamstringed the offense because he hasn't been able to learn it, but yeah, it's kind of blown all perceptions out of the water about getting, what you need to get done about a playbook.
Yeah, you mentioned his mobility and how he's ran right now, leading the team in rushing as well. What do you make of Tulane's run game?
Yeah, so I've said this. It's not, I don't think that Retzloff's the leading rusher because Tulane can't run the ball.
Right.
He's just really effective on the read option. He's very smart about knowing when to hand it off, when to tuck it and run. I think that we haven't seen the running back room at full strength since week 1 because the starter and Mo Turner hasn't played since then. But I kind of thought this as, fall camp and spring camp transpired this offseason that the running back room depth-wise might have actually been the best that I've seen at Tulane. They've always really relied on that one guy, but to have a really credible rotation of, if it doesn't include Mo Turner, Dewberry Mobley, Javen Gordon, and Arnold Barnes have all made really strong runs in these last couple of games where I think just that workload has really made a difference. They're all different style runners, and I think it's just because Retzloff has just been that good of a runner that he's kind of taken the stage with 2 games now of over 100 rushing yards.
Maddie, you had to have watched the Arkansas and Ole Miss game, and Taylor Green could just get anything he wanted whenever he wanted. Retzloff's got to be thinking, I'm going to try to do the same.
Yeah, that matchup certainly does kind of seem to favor that, again, just really exploiting them via the read option. And I just think, for a guy like Retzloff, just to come from a Big 12 environment, have to come to kind of the G5. He had spoke about being disappointed that the crowd left early in the first game. I think a lot of that had to do with it being 100 degrees out here. But I think, these kind of SEC environments are what guys like Retzloff with just a little moxie and chip on their shoulder really live for. And so I'm really going to be excited for him to come into his own and I think just kind of run all over the field on Saturday.
Maddie, y'all can do that heat in September games. It was hot down there 2 years ago, and that score 37-20 really not indicative of just what a game that was, and it was there to be lost for Ole Miss, and that was against the Tulane backup in 2021. Y'all came to Oxford, and it was a biblical rain. The forecast does not have that for Saturday. Were you in Oxford for that rain in 2021?
I was, and there is, a few games in my memory that I think about as much in terms of the hostile environment and just the deluge of rain. That was actually my first away game as a sideline reporter, so welcome to college football for me.
Yeah, and I mean that was that was just a torrent for hours and long delays. So we won't have that on Saturday. I know you do like we do. We're watching. We're scoreboard watching in all these leagues, SEC, American. And Brian and I both have said it, Maddie, we think at the top of the American, it's a couple of good options there. There's some good teams at the top.
Yeah, you look at kind of the Mountain West last year and how it all kind of rose around the Boise State Broncos, and so then you heard a lot about UNLV and stuff like that. I think the American has really taken that G5 by the reins this year. I mean, the South Florida Bulls came out of the gate and made a huge splash. They immediately made the rankings. They kind of fell out of them, but it does feel like that G5 spot is really for the American Conference's taking. I mean, they've actually performed really well in their bowl games against Power 4 opponents. I think the only loss was Tulane in the bowl games last year, but the conference in the last couple of years, and despite, again, we're talking about Memphis and Tulane here losing their starting quarterbacks. Memphis lost a ton of their starters as well, seniors, same thing with Tulane, and for them to all be in this conversation, I just think shows really the strength of not just 1, 2, but 3 teams, and that's not even talking about teams like Navy and UTSA who could come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, like Brett said, top of this conference feels like it is really, really strong. What else do you notice when you watch this Ole Miss team that sticks out to you for this game on Saturday?
Well, I think it's going to depend a lot on who trots out at starting quarterback, just in terms of, I think that Tulane would like to see, Simmons over Chambliss just because of his rushing ability. And I think that's just kind of a mental challenge this week and, an actual game plan challenge of trying to kind of go against two guys. Tulane kind of trots out two quarterbacks as well. But I think that being the challenge, and then really it's just being a second coverage challenge in a row where they're really going to have to be locked down in the secondary. I would have been more worried if they hadn't been tested against Duke's receivers and Darian Mensah last week. They had their moments, but they managed to pull it through. And so I think that kind of experience, knowing that you can pull the game out in the end, is really going to be important when they're tested this weekend.
Maddie Hudak with us from the Tulane Radio Network. She'll be on the sideline Saturday in Oxford for Ole Miss and Tulane, and she's with us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, and we really appreciate it. And Maddie, we're going to be calling Memphis-Tulane week as well. For Tulane, a little bit like Memphis playing Arkansas Saturday. This could be it for a while, playing SEC teams, because if we talk about the top of the American with SEC going to 9 games. I don't think they want to be playing the top of the American for non-conference going forward.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And again, when you look at when these schedules were made and you talk about that Ole Miss game in 2021, I think that's kind of the matchup that these SEC teams are hoping for, and a lot less closer to than what we saw in 2023 and what I think is going to be an even more even-powered matchup. I think that, it's the same way of, I saw a lot of the hardest non-conference schedules. It was pretty incredible to see Tulane be included on some of those for these teams, and it just goes to show, I think that there's definitely something to be said about the health of competing against SEC programs, but yeah, you're right, this might be the last time for them to really show out outside of bowl games, so hopefully the American really puts on a show this weekend. And
your AD, an Ole Miss alum, David Harris, played in the defensive line in the early 90s at Ole Miss. It's hard to get the SEC to take your call. Do y'all even attempt to reach out to LSU, or is that over?
So I don't know. I kind of was almost rejuvenated this year. Summerall came out and said, why aren't we doing this? And that got some comments from LSU side as well, also kind of offering up that Superdome option, because I think that really entices LSU to kind of be more about this. But if you're going to keep non-conference games, I think there is something to be said about having those local matchups and being able to bring money and revenue into the state of Louisiana. I think that those are all really important things. And so I hope that is something that was a little rejuvenated. It was interesting to see that kind of take over the first couple of weeks when it was brought up, but it's the most that I've heard about it, in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you talk about the scheduling, I mean, Tulane has done a phenomenal job of getting power conference opponents on the schedule, and even if it's not the SEC, you look at this year, 2 other Power 5 conference opponents outside the SEC and Northwestern and Duke. You go even in the future, next year, Duke and Kansas State, even going further, you have more and more power conference. It feels like Tulane has done a really, really nice job of making sure you have not just one, but multiple Power 4 opponents on the schedule each and every year.
Yeah, I do think it's important. If you're going to have one, you probably should have 2 just to be able to show, hopefully go 1-1, hopefully go 2-0 in those matchups. Mm-hmm. But also, when you look at being able to recruit guys over to G5 programs, I think it's interesting. We might see a little bit more of a pendulum switch because a lot of guys are transferring and getting 0 playing time. Yeah. So that's something to always keep in mind. But when you're able to say to recruits, we have these 2-3 games for you to get game film to show NFL scouts against these credible Power 4 opponents, I think that really makes a difference.
Yeah. Absolutely does. On the defensive side for Tulane, I think back to that game against Northwestern where they have 4 interceptions. Last week against Duke, they have 1 interception. You talk about the quarterbacks you might see this week against Ole Miss. Austin Simmons has had some issues with interceptions earlier in the game. What do you think about the defense going into this weekend's game?
Yeah, the ball skills really jumped out in the first week. That was really, really exciting to see. And then again, I think that they've learned to just endure and come together in these last couple of weeks. We heard so much about the pass rush all offseason. So finally being able to see that in action has been really exciting. But, I think that the secondary, again, last week was something that they were really bent. They were really tested, but they didn't break. Mm-hmm. You have really important returners up the middle of the defense on the second level with Sam Howard, Chris Rogers, and Dixon Agu all coming back. And then your safeties in Bailey Despaney and Jack Chinchu, who have both played plenty of times against Power 4 opponents. I think that's really been a strength for Tulane, and to be able to really point to guys at all 3 levels makes it very complimentary.
And last Saturday in that wild game, there was only one defensive play made all night. Right. We know how important ball security will be. You can't ever really predict it. You don't know when the turnovers are coming, but Arkansas could not afford that, or they drive down and probably win the game, Maddie.
Yeah, I was on a call earlier, and they were asked kind of what will win this game for Tulane, what will lose this game for Tulane, and the answer to me was really turnovers. I mean, you just look at turnover margins, because it's not just that happening, it's how teams capitalize on the field position thereafter. And Tulane has lost 2 fumbles in the last 2 games, so that's something really important for them to remember. But I think in this game where you're just trying to look for really any edge here and there, that ball security is really going to be important on both sides.
Now, these kind of regional games, do y'all bus, or will you fly?
So we're actually flying this time, and we were in Mississippi the last time. We were at the end of our Hurricane Ida evacuation, so we drove from Birmingham to Tupelo and then down to Ole Miss. But, yeah, we'll be flying up this Friday, thankfully.
Maddie, before we let you go, I know we're definitely going to have to get you back before the Tulane-Memphis game, but how much have you been able to see of Memphis, and kind of what do you think of what the Tigers have done to start the season?
Again, I think they were in kind of a similar situation to Tulane, where you have the head coach coming back, but you lose the quarterback and you lose a lot of that leadership. But both of them have kind of gotten a little more wrinkle in their game. You know, Brendan Lewis, his running ability, I think, really rivals that of Retzloff. And just like, you know, you didn't have that in Darian Mensah, you really didn't have that in Seth Hennigan either. So I think that's just really added an element to both teams. But I think it really just comes down to the fact that both of those head coaches, you know, there's a reason that they're connected to all of these jobs when they become open. Yeah. And what I really took away from this offseason was I've seen turnover. I've seen it on the coaching staff. I've seen it on the player side. And if you ask me, I think having the head coach in place is more important than whatever quarterback you have out there. So I think that kind of remained true in both of those cases, but both have kind of gotten a new element to their offense as a result.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Well, Maddie, it's going to be fun to watch that Ole Miss-Tulane game this weekend. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll definitely have to get you back on before that Memphis game.
Yeah, we will have to do that for sure. Thank you, guys, and roll wave.
Thanks, Maddie.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maddie. We look forward to seeing her on Saturday in Oxford, and then back for the Friday night date against the Tigers. It's all right here in our area this weekend, Brian.
No, it's going down. I
mean,
it
American SEC Challenge.
I love it, and no, I think both are going to be really fun. I think both are going to be games that kind of come down towards in that fourth quarter, towards the end of the game, to see who will come out and win. You said something earlier, Brett, about flipping that game on between Colorado and Houston, and saying that it was a coaching mismatch between Willie Fritz and Deion. You know the first thing I said when I flipped on that game Friday night? Willie Fritz coached Houston.
Right.
I forget every time.
That happens.
Every single time I watch a Houston game, I'm like, oh yeah, Willie Fritz is the head coach, without a doubt.
And two intense guys in back-to-back coaches at Tulane.
No kidding.
I think Willie Fritz played defensive back. I don't think he played linebacker. I think he played defensive back in college at Pittsburgh State. And I know John Summerall's tough guy, all business guy. Fun guy, though.
Oh, yeah. And he's fun to watch. It's fun to watch his teams play. And I think, he's going to be, when we talk about some of these openings, feels like he's going to be a name after this offseason that you're going to hear some buzz on.
If Ryan Silverfield wins Saturday, what's that do on buzz and coaching jobs for him?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's there. We talked about it. I think yesterday about the Virginia Tech opening. ESPN had a story that had his name listed in the potential. So yeah, I mean, I think you win these big games, and I think the talk obviously starts. And I think a lot of people look at what he's done at Memphis and the amount of time he's been here and the success he's had, and I think that speaks loudly on maybe getting that job at the next level.
And all of that is a good thing for him, but also for both parties, and it all takes care of itself. If you're not winning, they're not talking that.
No. It makes sense. You're not going to go out and get a coach that isn't having success, especially if you're talking about going to a Power 5 job or Power 4 job nowadays. You're not going to look at a coach at the Group of 5 level and say, well, he's been just middle of the road. He hasn't had any success. Why would we want to take a look at him? So, yeah, it all boils down to success. Now, Virginia Tech, I don't know. It just brings back bad memories. I don't know. But, I think his name will be out there for sure.
And, heck, Sam Pittman can get on a roll and squash all that talk.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, we talked about how fun they are. We talked about, excitement around this program with the way that they've started.
Second year of Bobby Petrino with Green's big.
It's huge. It's huge. And you can see just how comfortable Taylon Green is in that system. And really, we talk about Taylon Green, but the amount of time he was at Boise State, and now, I mean, the veteran quarterback that he is nowadays just in college football, and then to have that second year with an offensive coordinator, it's been huge.
Brian, how many places are out there going, boy, I wish we'd have gone off after Retzlaff a little harder?
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing is, I mean, Retzlaff just kind of landed in Tulane's lap, it felt like. It was
out there, free agent market.
Yeah.
28th of July.
Yeah, and I think, I remember back to when those conversations were happening and when we kind of learned, hey, he's not going to be allowed to be with BYU anymore for what happened, but, he can go somewhere else and play. And, a lot of people were having conversations of, well, it's very late in the game. I mean, I remember it because the only reason I remember when that happened is because I remember it was around the week of media days because I remember John Summerall being asked, hey, you just added another quarterback to that quarterback room. What's that going to do for you? So a lot of places were kind of having these conversations of, well, we really don't want to shake anything up in the quarterback room. But Jake Retzlaff was one of the stories of the season last year in all of college football with what he was doing at BYU. And Tulane's sitting there going, we'd love to add another great quarterback to our quarterback room. If he comes in, if he's not ready, we have other options we like. But if he comes in, he works, then look what they've done, a 3-0 start, and we're talking about what could be a really thrilling game against Ole Miss. So it's worked out beautifully for Tulane and for John Summerall. It's been awesome so far, and I think it will continue.
And to pick it up that quickly.
Man. Oh,
and as Maddie told us, a lot of real changes.
Yeah,
in familiarity.
Absolutely, and that's been the biggest thing because, if you remember going into that week 1 game, they did not name a starter, and a lot of it was not to be secretive against Northwestern or anything.
They didn't know.
They didn't know. This guy just came in. Is he ready to run the offense in an actual game? And he went out there and did a great job, and he's been awesome to watch. And, I think we're going to have a lot of build-up to Memphis and Tulane on November 7th, the Friday night game when those two teams meet. That could be a real big indicator of what the conference championship looks like and what that group of 5 spot looks like.
You know what I'll say that afternoon? Playoffs start tonight.
Oh, man. Playoffs. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, playoffs will definitely start if both teams continue
kind of
to
a
do
bracket game.
It will be.
Kind of the Dayton game.
Yeah, and it's a Friday night game on ESPN, so all eyes on Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Who could be that group of 5 representative? Because I think these two teams will certainly be in the mix, and a couple other teams out there that will definitely be in the mix. USF, even after that loss against Miami, will definitely still be in the mix if they do what they need to do in conference play.
How tough the rest of the USF schedule, though. They do have Memphis, but they don't have Tulane. They do go to Navy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
at North Texas.
Yeah, that could be tough.
I think we leave out North Texas at our own peril.
No, I think North Texas is a good team, and I think they've shown so far this season.
A good one at Army this week.
Yeah, no, that will be a really fun one. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy for them. You talk about those 3 road games that could be really, really big for them, and so I think all these teams have landmines. I mean, you look at the Memphis schedule. I say you look at these games. We talk about all the home games you have, but I mean that East Carolina game on the road late in the season, right in between Tulane and Navy. I mean that's going to be one of those where this is a tough road game to go out there and get that win. So I think all these top teams in the American have at least one of those games in conference play.
For American loyalty, go ECU against BYU.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that game was. Is that this weekend?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. I'm all in on East Carolina. Go
that
Pirates.
Kind of would negate the Tarleton State loss for Army.
Yeah, it would. No, it definitely would. That would be huge. So, yeah, it's going to be a good weekend for the American, and we're definitely going to continue talking about Tulane, Ole Miss, and then Memphis and Arkansas. But we need to get to a break here in a second. Before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
Memphis football is back in action Saturday, September 20th, when the Tigers take on SEC neighbor Arkansas in the Rhythm and Roar game presented by FedEx. Kickoff is at 11, and Tiger Nation, wear blue. The first 5,000 fans will score a special T-shirt honoring the culture and history of Memphis music. Plus, enjoy Tiger Walk and stick around for live music on Tiger Lane, hosted by Stax Academy. Don't miss it. Be all in and get your tickets now at gotigersgo.com/tickets.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can easily find the right home insurance for you, even if it's not with Progressive. But if you don't choose us, then sure, okay, it's not going to work out. We're not going to cry about it or stay awake wondering what our future together would have looked like. We can't get emotionally invested, even if it sounds like we are. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer allows you to easily compare home insurance rates and coverages in one place, even if it's not with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. I love you. I shouldn't have said that.
Does your system sound like this? Hi, this is Lauren Choate from Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. If your HVAC system is over 10 years old, then it's probably out of warranty. Don't wait for it to break down and cost you expensive repairs, but be proactive with this incredible deal from Choate's. Right now, for a limited time, for the first 50 customers, we're giving a free 10-year labor warranty plus $1,000 off a brand new Carrier system install. That's peace of mind and big savings. And that's not all. Thinking about a backup Generac generator or maybe endless hot water with a Rinnai tankless system? You'll also get $1,000 off plus a free 10-year labor warranty on those too. Since 1958, Choate's has been serving the Mid-South with old-fashioned service you can trust. So turn to the experts with Choate's and call 347-8086 and let our family serve your family.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting to build with more volume on all the major outbound routes, especially trying to get out of Midtown right now as it picks up over here on 240 South, especially there at South Parkway. As you work your way south of Memphis, there was radar down through there earlier today. Just be careful. 55 down through DeSoto County. It's busy now over here on 40 eastbound from Sycamore View Road as you make that drive out past Germantown Parkway, continuing out into Fayette County. Weimer's Jewelry is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Stop by and see them at Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Here comes the Mirror Man. Says he's a people man. Here comes the Mirror Man.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you as we got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending. A couple things to talk about during this segment, but I want to start with something that you brought up earlier, Brett, and we've kind of talked a little bit about, but it feels like a matter of when, not if, for the Florida coaching position to open up. If it does, if Billy Napier, whenever they decide to do it, if they decide to do it, who are some names that you think will be floated around for the Florida job?
I promise I'll give you names, but here's one thing I don't want to hear if and when that occurs. Yep. I don't want to hear, well, anybody can win there.
No,
because we've seen that, no, it's really just been two.
Yeah, that's a good point. If anybody can win there, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Okay, I'll go Ray Graves and say 3 in 65 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's a really long time.
And somebody tell me when Ray Graves really won something big. We know Steve Spurrier won big, and we know Urban Meyer won big.
Definitely.
We know Urban Meyer won 2 there, and Steve Spurrier won 1. Now, Steve Spurrier did have the underpinnings of the program so good that even after the Zook mistake, they got it right. But Urban Meyer, it wasn't just Spurrier leaving it for him.
Right.
He did it himself. But the foundation was there. It will not be as there for the next person. I don't buy John Gruden stuff. So that's somebody that it won't be. Jed Fish, who the Jed Fish story from there, but if he won enough at Washington, I mean it's a great story from with Howie Roseman, two Brooklyn youngsters go to Florida, wanted to be in football world and SEC world. Worked out pretty well for both.
They did.
And while he was there, just borderline stalking Steve Spurrier to somehow get on the staff, do anything. Even taped his photo and resume against the driver's side windshield of Spurrier's vehicle. With this guy will leave me alone. Find something for him to do.
Get him somewhere.
And then he was off with his coaching. Howie Roseman more. Obviously front office with two-time world champs with the Eagles. But okay, great story. But I got to have more winning. Can you hire? And those fans aren't going to want a great story.
No, they're ready to win.
Zook was a pretty good story.
No, forget about stories. It's time to win games.
So I still really hadn't said who, have I?
I mean, but that's kind of what prompted the question because I don't really know where you go if you're Florida with this opening.
And remember, Chip Kelly could have had it, and he took UCLA and threw and got this out there, and it made sense that he could go to UCLA and get easier lost in Los Angeles and Westwood and just coach than the profile of the SEC. Didn't work for him there, and he probably wouldn't have made it work at Florida. Scott Frost could have had it when they during that hiring cycle.
Yeah, well. Scott Frost, I don't know if that would have worked.
There'll be a lot of Lane named mentioned, and I don't think that will happen. No. He's going to leave Ole Miss someday. He's not going to be the coach someday. I just don't think it's right now.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know where. And look, I mean, we're in September, and a lot's going to happen before Tennessee or Florida names a head coach. So I don't know who it will be, but I do think I think there's options. Maybe a guy that spent some time at Tennessee is now the head coach in the state of Florida. Maybe Alex Golesh, if he gets USF in the college football playoff, maybe he makes that
jump.
I
don't mean this disrespectfully. I really don't. I think he could be out there as that safety net guy we know will say yes, but don't you have to go big game hunting before you get to the yes guy?
Definitely. I'm just naming names that could be out there as
It's a good one.
But
that's a real good one. But we know, don't we know he'll say yes?
I mean, I feel pretty good that he would say yes to the Florida
So
job.
you can get him after 2 or 3 swings and misses.
If you're Florida, if you're the Florida Gators, your first call is not Alex Golish or any other Group of 5 job. And it's no offense to Golish or Sumrall or any coach, Silverfield, whoever you want, whatever Group of 5 coach you want to name. But if you're the University of Florida and you're looking for a head football coach, there are going to be bigger names that you call before you get to those teams.
Yeah, and there are offensive whiz kid types out there. But does Florida want to gamble? Because Billy Napier had won big at Louisiana.
He was the can't miss coach at Louisiana,
and he passed on other SEC places before that. Now I think he probably wanted LSU, and was plenty motivated, but that hadn't worked. If he loses Saturday, 20-22.
Yeah,
that's almost impossible.
It's really hard to believe, honestly. But we'll see what ultimately happens with Florida and when and if they make a decision.
Before I throw this name out, I want to see what he's doing this year.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, he's 2-1. Here's whiz kid at Texas State, G.J. Kinney.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Moves no needles, does not win a press conference.
No.
But I think he's got it.
I think he does too. I mean, he's done a terrific job at Texas State, and I think he's in that same mix of, I think he's a guy that you probably call if you get to that point. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of big names that are thrown out there.
If it's not Lane, who do you think from the SEC? If they hired from the SEC, do you have one? I do.
Oh, I don't
Eli
know.
Drinkwitz.
Yeah, that's a good one. Man, I tell you what, Brett, Eli Drinkwitz, he sure gets forgotten about. It's easy for him to get lost out there when you start thinking of coaches.
He does, but you won't get forgotten if you win at Florida.
That's true. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't know why he gets forgotten because he's done such a great job at Missouri of all places. But yeah, that's definitely a name that I
3-0 this year, 21 wins the 2 prior years.
Yeah, he's been great.
But maybe the best NIL out there. But that's getting ready to get a little more regulated.
Yeah.
When we start dealing with the house setup,
Right.
everybody's going to get the $20 million.
Yeah, I mean it's you're right. A lot's about to change in the world of college football and college athletics. But I don't know. That's going to be. I mean, Florida's way bigger than Virginia Tech and UCLA. When that job, if and when it opens up, that's going to be the big story and one of the big jobs of the coaching cycle. So it'll be interesting to see.
I wonder any pro coaches that it's not working that great for them that they may want to do the college thing.
That's a good question.
And especially as professionalized as college has gotten.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's a good question. I mean, when we get to the point where, and I understand, he didn't really have many options at the time. But when Bill Belichick, takes this step into college football, then I think anybody's on the table at that point. So,
and Florida will have the NIL right.
Oh, absolutely. No, they'll have it set up for whoever comes in, but. We'll see what happens. Kind of a ways away. Some NFL news coming out today. The Jets made it official this morning that Justin Fields will miss this weekend's game against the Bucs with a concussion. Mr. Backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor will make the start for the New York
He's been
Jets
everywhere.
this week, and he has. He's been around for a really, really long time. It's going to be a lot of backups at the quarterback position this weekend in the NFL.
A lot of quarterbacks hurt or hurting.
Yeah, and it's early in the season, and
Brock,
some of the
Rockstar Purdy getting well with a miracle cure with what Mac Jones did.
The shot that the doctor ordered was Mac Jones going out there and running the offense pretty well. Now
Can get you well fast.
Playing the Saints, I know.
That's true.
I mean, I know everyone's good in the NFL, but The Saints, they've got some issues, but no, it's gonna be weird watching this, and we talked about it a lot with Bo, but I think a lot of these injuries with backup quarterbacks coming in. I mean, we just mentioned Justin Fields. He's in concussion protocol. He'll probably be back next week. If not, it'll be the game after. I think a lot of these starting quarterback injuries are very short, and maybe a week, 2 weeks. But then you got Joe Burrow, who's going to be out at least 3 months, and I just do not see how that Bengals team, because I know everyone's talking about what they did in that game after Joe Burrow left. Jake Browning threw 3 interceptions after Joe Burrow left the game. Somehow they were able to still win that game. I do not know how Cincinnati keeps their head above water without Joe Burrow on the field.
It will be very difficult. It's been hard for them to get 2-0 with him.
It has. It absolutely has. So this Cincinnati team is, I think, in a really bad spot right now.
It's official. Washington returning to the district, back to Washington.
All right, is it official?
All the deal
right.
finally finished, and the franchise, the team itself, will invest $2.7 billion and cover all the cost overruns. You can count on those in D.C.
Oh yeah.
And the district itself will contribute $1 billion.
Okay, well that's good.
They're paying most of the freight.
They are. They're taking on a lot of it, and I think that's good.
It's a lot of freight.
It's a lot, but hey, I guess that's what the NFL has become, Brett. It's the money making sport.
And gonna be domed, and we'll host
awesome.
a Super Bowl
I love that.
someday.
That's good. That's really big news.
You're going to see someday. I'm going to predict, Brian. You're going to see only Buffalo and Green Bay be outdoor stadiums.
Yeah.
Everybody else will go dome.
I feel like those two are
retractable.
gonna hold pretty firm on their stance, but everyone else, it's gonna be dome or nothing.
Yeah, Buffalo passed on it in building this new one. They want the elements.
They sure do. Now they have. I think I mentioned this when I saw it, but they showed on Hard Knocks where they've developed it to where there's when you're on the field, 0 wind, no matter what direction it's blowing or whatever, 0 wind on the field, but no dome. We're gonna rock the outdoor elements.
Yeah, Mother Nature just had a really good laugh.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, I'm so excited because Brett, I don't really worry about the wind as much in Buffalo than other elements in Buffalo, especially late in the season.
Let's head to All-Star and get ready for these road trips and for these football weekend trips. And that's where you can start them at All-Star Chevrolet right there in Olive Branch. Come check out all the new Tahoes and Suburbans, the Equinox, the Traverse, all the Silverados right there at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. First exit when you cross into Mississippi. Take Kraft Goodman Road and you're there. Financing as low as 0 or 3.9 and no payments for 90 days. 1.9. No payments for 90 days on a new 26 Equinox, and your good credit deserves it. And that's what Drew DePriest and his great team, it's what they'll give you. All-Star with all of the best pre-owns around. Certified Chevys, a ton of Silverados, that Equinox, Tahoes, a great-looking Corvette Stingray. If you have any car or truck you want to sell, this is the best week and the best time to take it to All-Star and get a big check back for it. Bring your title, and you'll get a big check first thing tomorrow morning. Head to All-Star. That's where we can start the road trips and the fun fall trips and the football weekends. That's where they can begin. Everything you want to drive is right there at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. And always you can go for more information to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, Ross Dellinger just tweeting about 10 minutes ago or so that the NCAA Administrative Committee decided today to eliminate the spring football transfer portal window, but left undecided the exact length and timing of a single fall portal window. His sources tell Yahoo Sports a decision on details of the fall window is expected within the month. So some pretty big news there.
A little better, a little more.
Yeah.
Not a lot, though.
No, but I guess it gives us it tightens things up a little bit.
They're scared of the lawyers.
No, they're terrified. Everywhere in sports, especially in college sports, terrified of lawyers right now. But definitely some interesting news there from what off seasons will look like for college football. But we need to get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Moe's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Don't miss the 53rd Annual Pink Palace Crafts Fair at Audubon Park, September 26th through the 28th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of food, live music, and of course, shopping for one-of-a-kind arts and crafts from across the Mid-South. It's a Memphis tradition you don't want to miss. The Pink Palace Crafts Fair, September 26th through the 28th at Audubon Park. Sponsored by First Horizon Foundation, Friends of the Pink Palace, and your friends at Sports 56.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Family Leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. That is with any big sale. Special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
When life crashes into you, literally, NST Law doesn't just show up with a briefcase. They show up with heart. They sit with families after devastating wrecks, look them in the eye, and say, "We've got you." No scripts, no legal jargon, just real people fighting for real justice. If someone turned your life upside down, NST helps you stand back up. They've been doing this for over 35 years and have won billions for their clients. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or go to nstlaw.com.
Progressive knows RV owners like to travel at a nice, relaxing pace. Just like this commercial. They're not rushing to a departure gate at the airport, because they depart from their driveway. And they can relax even more knowing they're protected by Progressive. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye! It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today is that the ratings are starting to come out from the weekend in the NFL, and the Eagles-Chiefs game drew a record 33.8 million viewers, which tied the highest-rated NFL regular season game since the league started tracking those numbers back in 1988. Now, it was a smaller afternoon slate of games because we had that doubleheader on Monday night, so it was one less game. But we still had the matchup of the Super Bowl. I think no matter how many games, I saw some people saying that, well, you have to put into play that there were less games in that 3 o'clock window. I don't care what games were on at that time. I think everyone was going to be tuned in to Chiefs-Eagles and see that matchup again.
Yeah, it was worth it. 2017 game. What I learned today, Cal Raleigh, the big dumper himself. He did it. He knocked the Commerce Comet off. So here's 2 great baseball nicknames, Commerce Comet and Big Dumper. He knocked Commerce Comet,
better, Brett.
Mickey Mantle, out of the history books. Took 64 years for a switch hitting, power hitting to do it. 54 is what Mickey Mantle had in 61 when Roger Maris had 61. But a catcher did it, and the Mariners are really hot.
Yeah, no, the Mariners are really hot right now. We talked about that 10-game win streak that they're on right now. And, yeah, things are looking really, really good for the M's. Well, Brett, what I could have done without today, I mentioned it the other day, and I mentioned it today because now we have more confirmation that the Jets will not start Justin Fields with an injury. Man, we're in week 3 of the NFL season, already missing a lot of guys due to injuries, and a lot of those guys are at the quarterback position. Again, hopefully this isn't something that keeps these guys out long term, but those teams are going to be missing those starting quarterbacks, and we'll see how these teams can respond, how they react to missing their starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, what I could have done without, the final Iron Skillet game between SMU and TCU will be held this weekend. 104 meetings, 35 miles apart. After this weekend, no game scheduled. SMU in the ACC, TCU in the Big 12. Old Southwest Conference brethren right there in the Metroplex. But this is it.
Yeah, it's weird. We talk about these rivalries all the time. To see them starting to come to an end, really, really, really weird. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to Seattle at Kansas City, 10 straight for the Mariners. Yeah. Now the 3rd seed, only trailed Detroit by 2 games in the all-important loss column for that 2nd seed. That would be a bye into the LDS.
Yeah, it definitely would be. That's going to be a fun game tonight. Beam me to a game that's already started. The Guardians and the Tigers. Don't look now, but the Guardians are playing really, really well. They're only 2.5 games out of the final wild card spot. Gavin Williams versus Jack Flaherty. Gavin Williams has looked really, really good in his last 7 appearances on the mound, so that feels like it could be a really fun game tonight.
It will be a good baseball night tonight, Texas at Houston. Rockies trying to win number 42 tonight. Phillies late at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers only lead San Diego by 2 in the loss column. Go Padres. I'm anybody but the Dodgers and the Cubs today. They popped champagne.
They sure did. They clinched that spot to the playoffs. And, yeah, Padres and Mets, that's going to be one to watch. Dodgers and Phillies, a lot of games that still really, really matter in Major League Baseball. But that's all the time we have this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here,